20 big bottles of booze.
1 bottle of booze.
Yay!
Hello! Hi everybody! Welcome back to Rum and Coke night! Me and Landon are here. We got a couple people on deck that we're waiting to show up. I know we're supposed to, technically the start time is 15 after, quarter after, but I'm like, nah, fam. We ain't doing that. I didn't feel like it.
Well, I should introduce myself by saying that victims of ICE must receive justice.
Yes. Absolutely. 150 billion%. ICE is terrible, and everybody part of that needs to be...
ICE victims deserve justice.
Yeah.
I would like to state that Daria's mom and Daria are now safe in their home.
Oh, good.
And
good news, everyone.
Good news, everyone.
Good news, everyone.
And Daria's mom, being a mom, comes in and says, "Hi, Danny." So I was saying, Daria's mom comes in from home, from being in prison, and says, "This looks like this place could use some cleaning up." So.
I think we're getting a bit of an echo from Danny.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it right now.
Okay, cool, thanks.
So she says, let's clean it up and do some laundry, and then we can make lunch.
Yeah. Oh, good. That sounds like they're in good spirits.
Yeah. So that mom is doing mom things as moms
do.
Does. So
mom's gonna mom.
When your mom comes over to your place, does she do some of that stuff?
Does she do that? Not really. So once in a while she'll point something out, but most of the time she's just like, "Do you want help with something or anything?" But for the most part,
yeah.
I'm pretty good, so my place is usually in pretty good shape, so it's not usually a thing. But I mean, I guess if she noticed something, she would. She's usually pretty good about not invading my space, I guess.
Well, I mean, it is. She does actually live there, so to be fair, the mom.
Oh yeah. No, I don't live in my mom's basement, and even if I did, it's a whole separate apartment. And so because it's a whole separate apartment, it wouldn't she'd view it as my space versus hers, really separated. But if I was living with her and I was she'd just be like, "Hey, is there some laundry? Do you want some? I'll grab some."
But thanks to the Friendly Support Canadian, and a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of folks sharing and caring and other things.
Yeah.
She was one of those rare people to escape ICE concentration camp and is safely home and doing mom things as moms should be doing.
Good.
So are we live now, or are we pre-live?
We're live.
I have no idea. Oh, cool.
Well, we're live.
So Dapper's not coming.
We're 10 minutes live early.
Just fill in for Dapper with the little arms.
Oh, I don't think Dapper's coming tonight. I think he's got other stuff going on tonight.
Well, that's why I said fill in. I can just
you're Dapper tonight. Okay.
I
mean, you need a fancy hat and a tiny arms.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yes.
You've got that green Dapper sort of thing.
Yes. And I've got a Propeller Brewing Stone Fruit beer with apricot, mango, and peach in it.
Oh, mango and peach is so good.
And Chesh, what are you doing? What are you drinking?
I don't have a drink yet. I was busy setting up in here. I haven't actually got to go get my drink. But I'll probably I don't know what I'm gonna do. I haven't decided yet. I've been doing art. You can see my tablet now. As you can see, my setup has changed yet again because I cleaned my desk. And when I clean my desk, I move and reshuffle everything. Almost every time something gets moved. So my whole setup is all different again. But now you can see my plant and my dirt box. And you can kind of see my tablet. So I think if I do some more art streaming, I can do one of these.
Yeah.
And I can just sort of shift things a little bit so you can
that's a nice tablet.
I can pull it up.
I didn't realize it
Yes,
was so tablety.
it's huge.
Is
So
that
if
one
I
of the
could-
Huions?
No, this one's an XP pen.
Okay.
So then we can do one of these, and then you can kind of see what I'm working on. Obviously, you would
Yay.
also screen share it, right? You would also
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
present. Hold on, let me
You
press the
just
present
need
button and see
you
if
know,
it
like a
works.
second over-the-shoulder camera that can sit on that little shelf up there.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Just get
yeah,
like a
that'd be
little angle
interesting.
down camera that you can switch like
I-
with a button switch.
I do have another camera, but I would need a like a USB extender, like something that would give me more
Yeah,
USB slots.
you can get like a 50-foot USB cable extension cable for like $10.
Yeah, and then an
just, like, one
extension. Yeah,
rip.
I need an extent like one that'll give me more slots, and then I would need one that is. It wouldn't be too expensive. It's definitely doable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zerolon, I see you there. Do you want a link? Let me know. Your art desk is still at your dad's house. That's rough. Yeah, so I'm just looking at setting this up. But I'm pretty happy with it set up like this. I think this is a better angle. I think this is a better vibe.
I'm like full lounging at this point.
Yeah, you are. Paint me like one of your French girls. Hell yeah.
So I have, because it's rum and Coke night, I
Yeah.
have some actual rum here
Ooh.
from
Nice.
this is from Peru, but it spent a couple years on a ship, as rum classically did, arrived in France, and then spent some more aging there as well. So
I'm gonna get Zerolon a link.
so that's there.
fancy.
I can go with a Amaro, right? I can do an Amaro there, and then I have some red wine. But I made myself an orange with a vodka that was infused from our cherries out yonder. So
That's
my
yummy.
is that. And I want to thank those people that shared
Yeah.
the Darius thing. You really helped, right? Sharing is caring, and you helped make a difference.
It was
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
important that we have that momentum so that we could puppeteer the government.
Yes, the shadow liberals that we all are from another country interfering. Danny.
I'm sure I'm on like a trans-Tifa terrorist list now.
Oh yeah. Look out.
Yes. Well, I mean, I am. Hey, there on. I am not wanting to fly in American airports. I
Yeah.
do not recommend anyone do so.
Yeah, don't do that.
You say we
Oh,
have an
no.
American citizen. Well, you realize there are American citizens in the same ICE concentration camp that the mother got out of, who
Yep.
have been yet unable to prove they're Americans. So and the thing about that thing that some of the stuff that Danny has done media wise, there are people out there now. The stories about, like, just to say of a MAGA person, they're a person whose wife was nabbed by ICE, who's an American citizen, and they're trying to say, hey, wait. But when ICE grabbed you, they don't effing care.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
If they
like
grab you,
once,
they grab you.
No, not at all.
and once you're in the system, you have to like prove your way out. It's probably going to take you at least. Well, we did it in
if you try to
24
fly in
days.
the
So we
United
moved
States-
really fast.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's faster than normal. A lot of people were saying that it was going to be like 90 days minimum, but nobody told me I wasn't allowed to get somebody out, so I did it anyway.
My dad just flew.
Yes.
He just got back like a few days ago, and he was telling me when he landed in Fresno, he ended up face to face with RFK Jr. because he was there when RFK Jr. was there.
Ooh.
So don't fly in the U.S.
Oh,
You end up face to face with RFK
Hey,
Jr.
Don't fly
imagine
you
this.
if you run the risk.
Has he like
Imagine.
updated his rabies shots after that?
Oh God, I hope so. He was. I was associating with my dad today, so I probably have like 15 undisclosed diseases now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But But imagine this. Imagine you have been nabbed by ICE because whatever, and you are now in ICE detention. You have no cell phone. You have no idea even where you might be because you've been transported once or twice. What do? Right?
You have
Once or
pick up
twice.
your phone and click call blah blah blah.
They don't give you a phone call unless somebody knows where you are and sends you money for you to be able to phone out.
It's crazy.
You
Absolute
think about
nonsense.
that. Barbara Bush's private prison takes account, so they charge bucks a minute. That's only if they figure out, if they know where they are, to have someone else have a Canadian nudge to push them to open up the account so they can accept money, so you can then call out, assuming you know who to call.
Yeah. They're gonna start arresting people based on like, oh no, don't worry, we're not gonna arrest you. You bought a Trump phone.
How would you prove you
Because
bought the
that's-
Trump phone because you don't have it?
Well, no, that you just carry a Trump phone with you at all times.
Yeah.
And then when
You
they
have to get your
confiscate
Trump phone to
they'll
carry
be
it.
like,
Nobody's
oh,
getting them.
Yeah, they're not gonna give it
Yeah, but
away.
I don't know
Or
how it worked though,
send them-
because there was that person, I think that they were Mexican, and they ran like a whole Trump themed restaurant or something, and they were deported. So I don't know if that helps.
Oh my god, the United States is such a
Trump-
clown show.
Trump
It's so
support only
scary.
counts if you're white.
Yeah.
Well, except
And even then.
Daria, if you saw Daria's mom, you'd say that's a white lady.
Yeah.
But they're like pretty
Because-
white. They're Russian white, so that's pretty white.
You gotta be white
One
without
of the
an
guys I
accent.
trained at work, he's Mexican. Both of his parents are like legal immigrants from Mexico, and he was a very big Trump supporter. I'm like, you understand that you're not on like their target list now, but you're phase 2. You understand that, right?
Yeah. There's also like they're grabbing like white Canadians. So like people that would look like me, they would grab. I mean, I'd get got it anyway. Like it's probably on the list.
They would
Because
just-
you
they would,
walk
like,
in and be like, trouble.
Scoop you up
That's
in,
trouble
like,
right
a
there.
Yeah.
Santa sack and carry you away.
Yeah, they would say,
No.
Chesh is too small to be an American, so we'll grab her just on
Too
that basis.
small. We can't trust that. It's too close to the ground. I don't like the color of that goblin's skin. It looks too much like the reflecting pool. I'm offended. Fucking
Look,
hell.
even a goblin would see the reflecting pool and go, "Oh God, no, that's too green."
Ugh. No, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. I would hope that whoever gets in office again rips up the liner and sells it for novelty items, right? You get your own bit of liner of reflecting pool.
They should
Oh.
rename it to like Buffoon Blue.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Shano, who's been a member for 3 months at the amateur debater level, thank you so much, Shano, greatly appreciated, said you
Thank
could
you.
always bribe ICE with Trump NFTs.
I saw a good like little cartoon today, and it had all the ICE members in the bathrooms collapsed over the urinals, and it says, guys, you have to turn the electroshock gloves off before you take a piss.
Oh my god, that is a good one. I like that. I like that. That's
yeah.
that's the right
yeah.
kind of
Somebody to say,
spicy.
We're gonna defibrillate somebody or something in like a terrible way.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be
Not
killing
good.
people. That's what it's for. It's for murder.
And
It's a terror device.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that
we're
should be banned. Like
we're-
seriously.
we I want to
Yes.
discuss now on the air, but there are plans to seek both justice for the victims as well as the people that Daria's mom doesn't want us to forget. I mean, remember, she was
Mm,
in
mhm.
the middle of horrific conditions for which if she was a prisoner of war, the Geneva war crime thing would say you can't do that. But she was in that pattern. And what is she doing to her daughter? She was saying, yeah, but there's other people here, da 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 da. You need to take care of da 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 because
Yeah.
moms do that. And so there are people there we don't want to forget, and we won't. So that's a thing. And then longer term.
This
stuff.
isn't
So-
over.
Yes.
This is
This isn't
just
over.
we've put a bear on phase one.
You've just been put on
Quickly.
notice.
But we're celebrating the fact that she's out, she's home. So now it's keep my mom home and bring other moms home. And
Bring and dads and everybody's
and peoples and other things like that. Critters and-
Concentration camps are bad, okay?
yeah.
Did you see
Break out
that?
the
You
Mr.
heard one of those
Mackey.
little Midwest towns, all the flock cameras got cut down, and then the police made a report about it, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the guy who did it, he was with me on the boat. Yeah, the guy who did it, yeah, they were playing golf with me."
Yeah,
They just got
yeah,
flooded
yeah,
with
yeah.
people like giving preemptive alibis.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's and if Flock says, well, they don't actually save your information on the camera. It just puts it up for queries, is what
Oh,
they
we
say.
definitely
Yeah,
believe
well,
them.
I've
We
done enough
definitely.
computer
How is it?
coding
Okay,
to
how is
know
that
I'm
possible?
an amateur coder, and I know that that's not true.
Yeah.
We just transmitted to the cloud first.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, it is a sad thing that places are going for this flock camera stuff. Now, I will say, for the purpose of being legal, that I do not condone vandalism. So please, you it's not legal for you to go and smash them. Definitely do not take something like a canvas bag and put it over the top of them, or sit in front of them or things like that, because that would be illegal.
Don't spray paint
Yeah.
them. Don't.
Do not
You
wear
know what?
geometric face paint while you do it. Do not.
I am not in the States, and what I can say is I think sometimes the destruction of property can be an art statement.
Look, guys, it wasn't vandalism. I was reenacting the Boston Tea Party.
Ah,
yeah,
oh,
it's just brought with a modern twist, of course.
yeah.
I mean, we don't have tea, so I used the flock camera, and I'm not in Boston, so I wore face paint and camo. I mean,
So, do you think, Landon,
War
that
reenactments.
if Canadians just started while they're negotiating with Trump, being like, "But Mr. Trump, obviously you should have 2 ballrooms that we could get him to knock down the other wing too."
yeah,
Yeah.
We don't have to
The Canadians this time don't even have to travel to America to get the White House taken out.
We don't even need to light a match this time. We just be like, "But you deserve 2 bathrooms," and then the other
Yeah.
wing goes right.
yeah,
Definitely don't get a
what you
paintball
do
gun.
is
And
like,
definitely
your
don't
ballroom's
just
too
freeze
big,
the
but that White House-
paintballs.
Look, the
Yeah,
court
our
said you
building's
couldn't
bigger.
build the court said you couldn't build a ballroom over there in that pile of rubble, but there's a perfectly good space where there's no pile of rubble yet. You could try over there.
Absolutely.
That's true.
wrecked.
So when I see Canadians rattling around Fort Baltimore and say, let's say we can sucker them again into using a British pub drinking song with words of a person who didn't understand that the Americans are being sucker punched, and that the bombs bursting in midair were not landing on the fort because the British wanted them to think that they were under attack and to consolidate their forces so that they can sucker punch around and burn down the Capitol and the White House.
Excuse you, those were not British. Those were proto-Canadians.
Proto-Canadians.
It's true. And of
Progenitors.
course, I will point out the original colonies. Some of them decided that they weren't going to join the revolution.
Yep.
So that those dangly bits off the coast.
Yeah.
Dangly bits. Is that the official term? Dangly bits?
That's a very technical term.
Yes, because some people think they're islands, but they're not. They're actually connected. They're just dangly.
I low key kind of hate how informative our stupid rum and coke night is.
Nevertheless, I still don't understand how PEI got to be its own province. There are a number of other islands up there that could have been their own.
Yeah, the
autonomy. How
formation
come-
of PEI is almost entirely based off timing and based off of like production of potatoes. That's basically it.
Yep. That before there was everything done, they had a really big potato farm, and they were like, you know, potatoes, they saved the Irish, so they're important. And they were made a province.
The
Basically.
thing with potatoes is, if you want to grow a potato, you can grow a potato. Don't have dirt, don't care. The potato will grow. Don't have like
Just-
light, don't
You
care.
just
the
need
potato
more
will grow.
potatoes.
Just
Put 'em in a
just
bag.
you put a potato and you get more
Bury the
potatoes.
potato
It's weird how
potatoes,
that
and more
works.
potatoes will grow
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, and so it's a matter of there, but still, it's kind of amusing that that's there. Whereas there's Canada has some big islands up north.
I mean, Newfoundland is basically an island that got to be a province. So
I mean,
everything's an
Vancouver
island if you
Island
scale
could
it out
easily be its own province, separate from the rest of British Columbia.
yeah, if it wanted to be like, or if like the time again, it's a matter of timing. It's just like what was going on at the time.
I mean, say
Basically,
like population wise compared
Yeah.
to PEI, right? Like,
it doesn't have like
yeah.
I don't know if it has enough of its own resource besides like industry. So like the art schools and the programming and the gaming industries, like the industry that's out there. Like I don't know if it
Oh,
has like PEI has crop, right? Whereas I don't
How
know how much crop
far?
Vancouver.
How far are you
Island
from
has.
Sarnia?
Not that far.
Do you know that No Illusions from Scathing is going to be at BajaCon on the
Oh, are
weekend with
they?
Sarnia?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, the Piat people. It's too bad. I would go if they were further down. You should go if you can. That'd be fun.
Yes. Sarnia is within like day trip distance for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
No, this
even-
weekend coming.
even so, there's stuff up in Nunavut. There are islands up in Nunavut that are like populated, more populated than PEI, maybe, and are bigger certainly, and they
In Nunavut?
yeah.
More populated than
more
PEI?
larger and have people. They're populated and have
Oh,
people.
okay. They're populated. They have people. I don't know if they have more people than PEI does. PEI is where
No,
JF
you're right.
is living.
I meant to say they have more area than PEI ever does.
Yeah.
Like, wait. You mean like fucking creepy JF killed his girlfriend, JF?
Yeah, he lives in PEI now.
Guy.
Yeah, he's gross.
Ew.
Yeah, he's very gross. I mentioned this guy. So I was at a bar recently, and we were talking. Like, I kept talking about like weird people I've talked about or talked to by accident because I casually said something and people didn't expect it, and I mentioned like talking to JF and that he was always gross and terrible. And they're like, "You know that guy?" And I'm like, "Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes."
I mean, yeah, no, he's a fucking freak. But he
Also Sargon and a whole
He
like
went on-
all those people.
he went
Danny's got
on with
connections.
yeah, is he still living in PEI or did he move now? Because he was in Quebec, then he moved to PEI.
I don't
I don't know
know.
if he moved
The
again.
question is where
But
is his girlfriend's body?
Yeah, in the walls, in the swamp
Which
out
one?
back. Oh, a little bit over here, a little bit over there. The he went on Andrew Wilson's podcast and basically bragged about how he definitely didn't do it, and he basically said everything except I did it. Right?
So,
And then
yeah.
then Andrew Wilson recently did a debate with Candace Owens that I'm watching on Tuesday, and it's like, or he did like a debate / discussion with her. Apparently, Wilson paid $300,000 to do this. To be fair, that's how much it would take for me to talk to that guy too.
Wait.
I love the
Wait,
defense of,
wait.
I didn't do it.
You
Let me tell you in
$300,000.
detail how I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You paid $300,000 to talk to JF or to talk
No,
to
to Candace Owens.
He's paying money to debate her?
To debate her / just have a discussion with her, yeah.
So,
Seems like a really stupid way to spend money, yo.
Yeah, do.
speaking of spending money and creeps,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
in
Landon?
that context,
Don't call me out like that.
the civil service in Whitehall are placing bets as to when the Tate brothers will show up in a British court.
Yeah, they got extradited.
Yeah. And and that's because yeah, talk about insert bad words. Right?
It's a rum and coke, man. You can get away with it.
Cunts.
Yeah, there you go.
I use the word cunts even though in the Australian sense, but they would take offense because it's not masculine enough.
And look,
You can also send bad words to Zero.
If you're doing it,
I don't care.
I'm sorry. If you're doing it in the Australian sense, you need to elongate the U.
Cunts.
No. Cons, right?
Yeah, they really accent the U.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
I am running the same game. You guys know I ran a short game on Dapper's Top Hats Off channel. And I let them name the cleric that went missing. I am running it for people at home now. I'm letting them elongate it a little bit, so it's not like, because it's not a show and it's not like 2 hours a piece. Sometimes we're playing like 4 or 5 hours. So it's like definitely more elongated. But they decided to name the missing cleric. So I'm just letting them name the cleric.
Yeah,
they named the cleric Mike Cunts.
So here's
That was a good
actual
game. I
rum.
enjoyed it.
Actual rum from there, but because it's something has to do. Although I want to acknowledge that rum and coke, the concept of rum and coke, is like that person down there. Yeah, you back. You were the one suggested to you know who.
The Ice King.
Kenny.
Pretty sure that's the Ice King.
You crazy bitch. Listen, you want some crazy? If you ever want crazy shit
to wolf mode. Because it's
how cute.
Oh, that's very adorable.
I have a penguin, and I will change him to frog mode.
When I worked in our office, that stayed on my desk, and the company owner would come and flip flop it towards which attitude he thought I was in, and if it was on wolf, I was in trouble. I had to be in sheep mode. He did. I got too spicy. That's why I got kicked out of dispatch again.
Well, both they're on that. That's very cute. I like you get the
goobers. Am I in cute mode or am I in?
Well, you could actually be in a superposition.
Oh, I'm living in between. I'm both. I'm two sides of the same coin, Batman.
I have something that's incapable of not being in cute mode.
Oh,
Look at this. It is Fat Nuggets, the demon pig.
Nice.
Get the demon
You give him a cloak with like a popped up thing, and he could be Lord Chuckles, the evil piggy.
I just put one of those weird like triangle corner nets in wifey's office next door, and it's full of stuffies.
Nice.
So
yeah.
So anyway, I see that Athens is in there, the 619, and of course Orange Dot I see in there, and
yeah, Borg's here, Tom's here. We got the crew. Lindsay's here. Shano's here. Shano might be a little bit AFK.
I'm gonna refill my glass real quick. This is not enough rum for rum and coke.
You'll go get me one, please.
I have more. Thanks. I have wine glasses, other things as well, but please do. Meanwhile, by the way, Judge, I hope you were able to join us. Next up, we have Madame Paley, because Madame Paley, things are happening.
I finally, I'm not moving and I'm not on vacation.
Doing interesting things.
Do you see how big my plant is now?
You are a plant, yes.
It's gonna start going up the wall.
I shit you not, Josh. I'll have to send you pictures of this. I have a plant now, and the vine is now almost gone the entire way around the living room on
That's
one
so
half.
cool.
Really? It's gone that long?
Yeah, I've just been like putting like push pins in the wall for it to hold on.
That's what I'm gonna start doing for this one. It's not quite tall
Yeah.
enough yet. It needs to be a little bit taller, and then I'll be ready to do that.
It's just like the, and it's already looped around. Like if I wanted to, I could probably wrap it around it because it's like looped around. I basically have a top curtain layer that's just vine.
Excellent.
Hi, Megan Fox's giant boobs. Yeah, we were doing roll call. Orange Dot asked what AFK means. Away from keyboard is AFK.
Have you? Oh,
Shano is mining and crafting. If you're drinking, let us know what you're drinking. Don't feel obligated though. What do you got?
have you seen, Jeff? This Provo Canyon school that Paris Hilton was protesting for a long time?
No.
So there's
Tell
all
me.
these like accusations of like child abuse and stuff happening there. It's like a correctional school for kids.
Yes.
And Reckless Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah. He recently posed as his own father, checked himself in, and got one of his friends who definitely is not qualified to work with kids hired there and got them shut down. They literally
Oh.
charged his father, that was an actor that he hired,
Yeah.
something like, they said for the first 2 days it was like $25,000 or something, like crazy expensive. Like this place is like crazy expensive. And they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we'll just give them this credit card that's definitely not going to work, and tell them, it'll work, that I'm on a business trip. It'll work in 2 days, and see if we can sneak in for the first 2 days and then try to escape."
Wow.
And like this place is like a little prison, and it's very fucked up. He escaped. The school assumes that they were still just a student who escaped, and had the parent, like the police, out looking for this runaway kid. And meanwhile, they call the dad back before, which was also Ben at that point, before telling them that the son ran away. Wanted to make sure that they collected payment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, and they waited 2 days longer to mention that they'd lost his kid. It's fucked. It was crazy. But you should watch it. It came out yesterday. But it's like
That's
it's
crazy.
and it's in Utah, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Where else could it possibly have been?
At
Where,
this
where
point,
else?
Reckless Ben is,
Could be in Alberta.
but I
Because,
know, and he's been having this weird little feud with.
because I helped a person confront the priest who is still practicing, although retired, who would beat the child if the child spoke in their indigenous tongue. And the priest said, "I did that to save your mortals, save your soul."
Yeah. That was a thing.
How long does one have to practice to learn how to beat a child exactly? It feels like something
Well,
Brev shouldn't try to do, and also wouldn't take that much practice.
There's
I will
a
say-
practice of trying to save indigenous people from their culture by teaching them to speak white, and
Gross.
some of them didn't survive the beatings.
Yeah, there's, and that's something that's like a big thing. Like, well, there's discipline. They're disciplined. No, there's discipline and there's beating. They're not the same thing. When I was in high school, when I was in drafting class, if you made a mistake, you had to take it up and you had to put your drafting thing. If you made a mistake, he made you lean forward, and he had a big foam tomahawk because we were the chieftains. He had this big foam, and he would bap you in the head with the tomahawk, and you had to go back and fix it. That was discipline.
Jeez.
That was
Well,
discipline.
I'll put it this way.
Beating is different.
I think you stepped away for a second, but just these kids in this place, one of them stole a bag of chips, and by stole I mean probably just had without implicit permission, and was put in literal solitary confinement for 2 weeks. It's insanity.
That's
Foam
crazy.
tomahawk. One of my friends got tomahawked in the head for misspelling his own name.
I mean,
I feel like this isn't going to make somebody spell better.
It was one of those like
Damn
it's-
it, spell better.
you focus
What
so
we
much
need?
on not
Weird
making a mistake when you're doing your letters. It's easy to miss a
all
letter.
right, I'm gonna need you all to do me a favor and say hi to the Raiders that are just showing up now from Unfortunately
Raiders.
channel.
Hello.
Hey!
I hope you realize what you've stumbled into, because this is not your normal Rum and Coke.
This is not your
Yeah, and I
normal.
have to
Rum and Coke is not
apologize.
normal to begin with. This is not
Yeah, the normal.
I have to apologize. You're getting the ever rare no green screen Zerlon, so you get to see my actual
I
office
know.
behind me. I know that
I
doesn't usually happen.
know.
Usually I have, like a Star Trek bridge behind me, but no.
So if they ever put
Hey,
up a green screen,
welcome, Zoo
I
Crew.
would have a green screen so that this image here shows on the green screen.
Unfornicated, do you want a link to come on in? Let me know.
My green screen. Landon, have you seen my green screen?
No. I mean, I think
Go get it. He's gonna go get it. He's gonna show off.
Who all are the regulars of Rum and Coke? It's been a long time since I started Rum and Coke with the other crew.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but I legitimately stole this because apparently the concept was owned by Steve.
no. Danny.
That's why I said apparently.
Uh,
Of course he
Yeah.
didn't own it. That's insane.
That's the Elgato green screen. It takes that long to have a green screen up.
Ah. Okay. So your green screen is nice because
Welcome,
it
guys.
shows green. That's another
shows
thing. Your
green.
green screen. A green
Definitely
screen should
don't
do,
take
it
clips
should
of
be
this.
green.
Definitely
I
don't
was
take clips of
also
this, and
just-
definitely
just-
don't put
just
zero on in
FYI.
compromising positions.
Yeah.
FYI, I was also responsible for the smoking nun.
Of course you were.
Oh.
Not-
really?
Not like
Uh-huh.
I like puns or anything or crazy alliterations or things like that. I don't ever do those things.
So were you
Yeah.
paid $50,000 for your right to your smoking?
I
nun?
got paid zero, man. I produced that whole show. I think I got a charging cable out of it.
There,
So,
now I'm back on the bridge.
I think, from my understanding, Unfornicated usually is working on some flat Earth stuff. Has there been any fun flat Earth shit that's new?
No.
No, nothing new.
I
Nobody's
saw
got
our
anything.
local flat Earth guy again. I tried to track him down, but I was in the work truck and I couldn't catch him because a 30-ton truck just doesn't catch a little green freaking Wagoneer.
Hey,
feel like-
welcome.
Hey.
I feel like the
Let me make
final
sure.
experiment- the final
hear ya.
experiment that weird young
yeah.
Earth creationist paid for.
Yeah.
That really flipped that flat Earth, right? Like after Jiranism flipped, they've
Uh,
all like
I've had him for like a week.
No, they all moved to TikTok.
they're still
Yeah.
well no they're still fucked up. A lot of them are still left. Some of them more like Witsit and a few of the other grifters, right? Like they're still sort of at it, but even they don't much like to touch it, and they don't argue. They don't propose experiments. They don't do any like now. They're
No.
entirely like switched like fully into just like denial. Like no, you're just wrong.
mean,
I'm not gonna argue. Like
They
shut
were in
everything
denial
down.
to start, but yeah, it definitely did
Yeah,
that.
but they at least did some fun stuff where they'd be like, where we could prove it maybe if we did this crazy experiment, and you'd be like, oh, we're gonna teach you why that was dumb, and you could learn something from that process. But now they're just
Well,
like, nuh-uh.
Well, the one I like was like, we could do it with this experiment. You mean this one here that was done 300 years ago and concluded that the Earth is not
Look,
flat?
that is not sufficient. You have to look. There are plenty of cool people that I know that went and did their own Cavendish experiments because of trying to prove flat earthers. I think that there's some value to that, but they don't even make those claims anymore.
I've done the Cavendish experiment.
So
There you go.
I grew up.
I
I
didn't do
live
the
in
measured one. I
California
did it
and
in
I
my
live right
garage.
by
It's
really
the
hard, by the
Sierra
way,
Nevadas.
to-
So I
Mhm.
see underlit clouds all the time, and I see underlit clouds that have mountains shadows up on them all the time. So it's really hard. Like, oh yeah, the Earth is flat. Well, that thing you see right there says it isn't.
All right, you guys shut up. Let Unfornicated introduce himself.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Yeah, so for those who don't know me, I'm over on Unfornicated. Today was not a debunking stream, actually. Today was more talking about well, since I'm a Navy vet, there's some questions about design changes for aircraft carriers, which happen to be stationed on, and also the morale problem
Ooh.
at the Abraham Lincoln, who has
So
spent
are you
250
dealing with
days.
Powers,
the
great,
Yes.
all right.
steam-powered launchers because electronics don't work
Yeah.
in water?
Yep. Yeah, we
Oh.
covered that today.
Sorry. Trademark Canada.
So yeah, it's not like it's a Lego. You can't just like take one out and put one in. It does not work that way. So yeah, whatever. So we covered that. We also covered moving the island and like what that's going to do to the turbulent air over a landing area, and then also the morale problems on like what happens with, like what life is like on an aircraft carrier for 250 days straight.
So I assume
Oh, that's so
you-
interesting.
I assume you served.
Yeah.
So thank you, by the way, for your service.
My pleasure.
And are you one of the people above the water, or are you one of the below water people?
No, I was on an aircraft carrier myself. I was on the Kitty Hawk.
Okay. Oh, nice one. Nice.
So
Why?
I was,
Nice.
Sorry, you go ahead,
I
and then I
am?
have a question.
I have a friend I think who was also on there. Maybe. That's interesting. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Although I have a great video I seen the other day of a Canadian goose absolutely terrorizing some American soldiers, just fucking them right up. They were running in fear, and it did make me laugh pretty hard. Like, thanks for your service, but I would laugh at you if you got attacked by a goose on video, probably.
By the way, my birder friends are yelling, saying it's a Canada geese, not a Canadian geese.
Technically,
I
yes.
got chewed out
and
so bad
properly
one time
immigrated
online.
into the United States without a visa and attacked the military.
I
But it
want to
was a
see
Canada
ICE
geese.
try to grab a Canada goose.
Someone
We have
someone
them
drew a
here.
picture
We just
of
gotta
a
get-
dragon
we just-
flying
got
away
them?
afraid of from Canadian geese, and I referred to it as the dragon losing to the Canadian Air Force, and the internet apparently did not appreciate
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, I call them the Canadian Air Force as well because
Yeah.
I'm a Navy guy. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in New York, so we have a lot of them, and they are mean little bastards.
Oh yeah,
very
they're
mean.
assholes.
They are very mean.
Cobra
It
chickens.
would be hilarious though if you just started shipping crates of geese back to us. That'd be fun.
There are none of them right around me. I'm too close to the mountains, but if I go into town, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
Like, if
Yeah,
I go
that
down
sounds
the
about
rest of the way
right.
down the
Only
mountains,
geese
I live in the
going over.
foothills in California. If I go down
They-
like the actual Central Valley, there's Canadian geese everywhere.
I have a
Armies of them.
They
question.
fly over Carney's crevasse
Yep.
with impunity and have no respect for border things. It's part of the invasion.
There are
And
a
they
lot
poop.
of people doing flat Earth debunking and have been doing flat Earth debunking for a while. Why are so many of them Navy from whatever country?
Because you can't be a flat earther and be in the Navy. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
Like I've been to Australia.
Yeah, you
I
have
got
to
to
know
see
how
the
to
star
use a
rotations going
theodolite.
a different direction. I got to see the sun coming in from the south. I got there's no way possible. Like you cannot be in the Navy. And fortunately, there are some flat earthers who are Navy. In fact, a Navy cryptologist, just like me, is Vlad 92,000, Ironwork 92,000. Vlad,
Yeah.
Vladimir. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing
So
with
cryptology
flat
has
Earth
5
and
branches.
like naval, ships cannot navigate if you hold to the flat Earth. They can't, and that's been true for since sea travel started. So it's really hard to be in the know. Even like my dad's little fishing boat, if we take it out of Morro Bay, we can start cruising out and you can look on the radar. The radar only reaches so far, but I can see that Morro Rock for way the hell farther than I can see the jetty that's in front of it, and I can see the smokestacks. Well, the smokestacks are gone, but I can see the smokestacks behind it even longer. If the Earth was flat,
Yeah.
I'd always be able to see all of it now, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So
No.
my specialty
I'm
is
curious.
cryptology.
Dan,
It's
I
just
don't know
not
if I don't. Dan, I don't know if
conducive.
you know we've met. I'm an astronomer. I'm a frequent visitor to the South Pole, where I located. I'm someone who has measured the distance to the moon, distance to the sun, and other things like that. I regularly bounce lasers off of the moon to measure its distance. But I found what I thought was a unique gem. On a trip, I met somebody who was a flat sun person. And they said, "You've never seen mountains on the sun. The sun is only flat. You can't prove it otherwise."
I mean, you're not wrong in a sense. I mean,
There
you
aren't
have to
mountains
look
on
at-
the
You have
moon.
to look at it from the side, right? I mean, to see any, prominences and stuff. But
And so I explain about how the sun brightness drops off as you go to the edge, the black drop effect. Having been to, I've observed both transit of Venus.
I really thought you were going to say having been to the
distance
sun.
to the sun and other thing there. And they're like, no. Yes, the sun drops off to black at the edge, and there's teardrop effects as the Venus rolls in here. But anyway,
Yeah, you don't understand, Landon. The sun's just locally flat.
exactly.
but I thought that was creative, that they were a flat sun person.
Hey, it takes all kinds, I guess. I mean, so in the Navy, I was a cryptologist. There's 5 branches. One of them that Vlad is a electronic warfare. So he listens in on radars and electronics intelligence. I was in signals intelligence, so I did satellite and radio communications. So it's kind of hard to be a flat earther with where satellites are and how to point to them. And I still do it now. Like I had 4 sites. I just had 4 sites. I'll go to GOES 19, the GOES East satellite, and plot it on a flat Earth of the globe. And miraculously, it all converges at 35,000 kilometers out. And I've also measured the distance to the moon, but I did it with radio waves, not a laser.
Yeah, I actually did it with a gentleman in Canberra, Australia, where we simultaneously looked at the moon during a lunar eclipse and the triangulation thing on there. But I was entering in the Navy. I was never in the Navy. I didn't have that honor, but I did ride on a naval sub because I helped the Navy with clocks, because the Navy is one of those entities that's really obsessive with time and not just approximate time. And I had a thing about a particular
Yeah,
thing
you gotta know
that-
time. It's
and
super important in the middle of the fucking nowhere ocean.
it's important because this
It is,
stuff was
because that's how you get
designed
your latitude
to
or your
deliver
longitude.
packages carefully and accurately. And they didn't need to know what time. They had to know what time was, and they're obsessed with it. And so we had a new method of giving, because subs are not necessarily the nice, gentlest environment, as I learned this landsman. But I'll tell you this: I was extraordinary, because I do nuclear stuff. I was extraordinarily impressed with the professionalism of the sub. The nuclear sub people were just extraordinary in their
Well,
skill.
there's no place to go if you don't like somebody.
Yes,
I mean, you have to be very tough.
Oh.
yes, yes.
I was on an aircraft carrier, so we call subs speed bumps on the ocean of life. And personally, I prefer not to be on a ship designed to sink. I rather one designed to float. So I had that plus. But
Oh no, don't call a sub a ship. They're a boat.
well,
They're always
it's a boat. It's a boat. It's less than I mean, I don't know how big the boomers are getting. They're getting pretty big. I mean, they might cross over to ships soon.
Well, no, they
this thing
won't,
is
because ship is at 125 feet and our subs are over 400. A sub is always a ship, no matter how big it gets, or a boat, no matter how big it gets.
always a boat. Yeah, that's true. I have a submariners in the family, and I just think that they're all nuclear power plant people. So I just say that you guys all glow in the dark anyway. So there's a problem with you.
But
So if you're
I'll tell
if
you,
you're into,
if you have a nuclear power plant, you would be well advised to hire former Navy sub people, because
For that boat.
and I would say, I did the ride on it to help make sure that the clock that they were using experiment worked well. And the captain gave a general order to say, I got to ask anyone a question at any time about anything, as long as I had a need to know. And I could go down there and say, why are there 3 switches like this? And the person can say da 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 da. And if you do da 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 da, and if you change this da 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 da, right? It was just and the place was clean as a whistle, nuclear wise. I was extraordinarily impressed with the professionalism of the sub folks. Never run on a
The
ship.
Navy is just as anal about cleanliness as they are about their clocks. That's just the way it is. We are always swabbing. We are always sweeping. They won't wash their own ass, but they'll definitely make sure that the P-ways are nice and glossy.
Exactly.
so
The
this is the
number
crazy
of
thing that's
men that will not.
you might be a
Hey,
good
Chad,
person to ask. You might be a good person to ask, because I seen this picture yesterday, I think, and it's of I think a really dirty plane on an American aircraft carrier, and I think the people in the military might be trying to send some kind of message. It's maybe encoded. I don't know what all of it means. Can you show it?
It's
Jess, and see
showing
if you
on
can
the outside right now.
decode it?
You want me to show it on the
Hold on, here,
inside
let me-
too? Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
pull up
Yeah.
the stream.
Yeah, see if you could decode it, because I think that I'm not sure what this means coming from the American military, but they seem to be writing things, and that and usually these are very
Tic-tac-toe and phallic symbols are obviously already written everywhere. That
yeah.
one, that looks like it's a lifeboat.
Yeah.
I see something that says Operation Epstein Fury. That's pretty crazy. I don't know what does that mean. That's crazy.
Let's put it this way: gallows humor is a prerequisite for joining the military to start with.
Okay,
I noticed that on the sub.
I see.
I'll say, by the way, I'll say
64?
this: my clock behaved better than the standard sub clock. and they made me ride on that place for a long time. I did learn that when certain sounds occur, you flatten yourself against the side of the passageway because they would apologize for running over you if
Yes. As they're
Like-
running through you, they will apologize.
yes.
So I was on aircraft carrier systems. We have a lot of up and down. So we have ladder
Okay.
wells. So before you grab the handle and jump down and put your footprint on someone's forehead, you're yelling down ladder. So it's either up ladder or down ladder. So there's actual specific sides of the boat you go down, sides of the ship that you go down, that's up or down. So you might be
Yeah.
on the wrong side of the ship, but that's the way that you do to go up, and you can always cross over.
I just knew there was a lot of shouting sometimes.
Oh
when-
yeah, no, general quarters is not fire. Fire is the worst. Fire and flooding is the worst because you can't just dump a bunch of water on it because then you create flooding, which creates its own problems.
Yes.
So you can't do what we call surround and drown. You have to be very, you have to have watertight doors, airtight doors. You basically lock the fire team in behind these doors and say, good luck. We'll see you guys when you guys put it out. And that's just that's the gallows humor that comes into. There's not, whether it's death or family members, there are no sacred cows on a Navy boat of any size. Someone's sister, someone's mom, someone's brother. There's jokes all the way around. There is no sacred cows. And you make jokes about the fact that you are
I did
taking
Navy
the
boot
flying
camp, but I
squad and
tore out
putting
both
them
my
in
knees
there
right at the
and
end.
locking the door.
Yeah.
So do you
That's
do you think
scary.
though? Because I have heard, and I don't know to what degree, because the my media can be biased in different ways. But I've heard that as of recently with the current stuff that morale is very, very low on a lot of these places, and that people are quite miserable. And it seems like it wouldn't be common in my mind, even though there's always been gallows humor, for there to be such a predominant focus on just telling the commander in chief that he's a cunt. Like that seems irregular to me, right?
Sure.
So there are certain rules of what you can say and not say, and your commander in chief is one of those things that it's not one of those things you can say. But morale is, morale. I mean, living on a ship automatically is a shitty environment to be in to begin with. I mean, I was showing a picture. I can find it again so I can show you guys what birthing looks like, or what we call birthing. This is like where we
Yeah.
live.
I was extraordinary how small they stuck people
Yes.
into.
Yeah, feel free to share. I'll make sure it can go through.
Okay.
If you really want a good, if you ever find yourself in San Diego, and you really want a good idea of what like ship life is like, you can tour the Midway, which I had two of my great uncles who've both passed now. They both served on the Midway, so I got to tour it, and it was really fun. It's like, oh wow, I remember this thing was really terrible. And my uncle's like, yeah, does it still have the 3 gashes on the thing? I'm like, yeah, it did. Yeah, those were there 50 fucking years ago.
So show us. It says black at the moment over there.
I'm trying to find one that's not like, that's not going to be all warped and shit.
Yeah, it's gonna take a second.
Okay. Yeah, I do hope though that situations improve for the crew members down there. I'm an anti-war person, but not an anti-military person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of conflict, but the people are doing, or trying most cases to do something that's important.
Do their
And,
best.
Was there
they're doing
was there something
they're
I'm
doing
supposed
their
to see
best.
over there, or is it okay? There it is. Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God,
yes.
Landon, take a chill pill.
This
Landon
is
doesn't have those.
so funny thing about the Midway. I went and took my 6-year-old daughter there. And I
Ugh.
went with my cousin, and I ended up picking up 8 extra people because you can have an audio tour guide as you wear headphones as you walk around, and they explain all these things. Well, since my ship was very similar to Midway, I was telling everybody first person stories, kind of like like you're discussing with your uncles. And I ended up picking up 8 random people to follow me around the ship as I was their tour guide. It was actually pretty enjoyable that they thought enough of my stories to think that, okay, we're following this guy. But yeah,
That's
this
cool.
is
For
where
anybody who's wondering, when he's talking about the audio tour, when you get on, when I went there was only one tour. There's more than one tour's like loop now, but they give you this thing, looks like an old Walkman. It has a key dial on, and you put the headphones on, and when you walk up to something, it'll be like, oh, this is number 47. You type 47, and it starts playing the audio for that, and it'll give you your standard like History Channel talk of it, and then it switches to actual sailors who served on that ship talking about that item. And they have it for the dumbest things. You're like, oh yeah, this is a pipe that's leaning over here, and it's done. And they'll be like the guy who did maintenance on it will come in and talk to you about the pipe, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, but they lose the colorful language. You don't get enough f bombs in some of
That's
those
true.
ones that you do from somebody else who was serving.
But they were polite swearing. I learned.
Yes.
They were very, and
So, fuck you, sir.
I mentioned
When I was in boot camp, they would always tell you you're not salty enough to swear yet because you have to learn when it is appropriate to swear and which swear. Like there's almost an art form to when you have to swear, and it's at that point it's when you have to swear.
Right. And actually, this is a good segue to, so my channel name over here is Unfornicated, because we had an intel officer who was salty as get out and was very much a swear every other word kind of mentality. I mean, he lived at sea, but the assistant intel officer was not. He was very much a born again, didn't swear, didn't drink anything else. So when I was in there getting a brief, I went to go say that it was time to that we were having some problems with communications because there's some tropospheric ducting on in the area. So we had to unfuck. I was going to say we had to unfuck all the communications still. And I realized who I was talking to. And as I said, and I started saying the F, I'm like, fornicate. So when I was coming up with a channel name, I was like saying, I can't say unfuck stupidity. I can say it in the description, but I can't say it in the channel.
very nice.
That's super
So now
good.
you have unfornicated.
I like that.
By the way, when I was doing the experiment on the sub on the thing, I had a really privilege. The Navy was bringing back a British admiral, and the British admiral was given the captain's quarters out of courtesy, and the British admiral said to me, "I want you to room with me." So when I was shown where it was going to stay, I thought it was kind of small stuff until I realized that was actually the captain's quarters on the sub. And when I asked people, "Where do you sleep?" and like, but that's a hole.
It is a
Josh, pull up
hole.
this birthing picture and let me explain something real quick.
Yeah.
This is a room.
Hey, not me. There we go.
This is a room that is basically 60 to 80 people.
Mm.
Your entire personal area that is just yours is this right here that we call a coffin. It's called a coffin locker.
Mhm.
You have a 7-foot bed with this light that will give you a dent on your forehead if you try to sit up too fast, unless you're in the top bunk. All your uniforms go in the coffin locker. It literally like just lifts up. And you get one of these other little lockers right over here. That is the extent of your personal property on a ship. That is your, and by the way, the only thing you have closing these off are blue curtains that are practically see-through. So you learn to look straight ahead when you're walking through. You don't ever look at anyone else's rack, and you always knock.
That's horrible.
Unless
Do you
you're
have? Is
on
there
a
like a
sub,
little
in which
slider
case
that
it's
like?
hot bunk and you share that space with somebody.
Does it close off
There's-
in any way?
It's
No.
you get 2 blue curtains, one from
Oh.
each side.
Do you have like a budget to maybe buy some cheap fabric from China or something? Like,
No. Everything
That's
has
not
to look the
regulation.
same. Everything has to look. You cannot make your
like,
own curtain.
China makes things that look the same, and it's a little thicker, right? So you can like not see through. Like,
The-
I don't.
The other thing
I
that
bet-
amazed
You
me
could make it in America if you didn't kill your manufacturer.
when they had certain signals, how fast somebody who was asleep could turn into somebody who was fully attentive and dressed and going for. That was the other thing.
That's a lot of
I can fall
training,
asleep
right?
in under 5
Conditioning.
minutes, and as soon as I hear something, I'm up and like I'm conscious, and I'm very aware of everything that's going on. You basically half your brain is never asleep. It's weird. It's like you're almost turned into a dolphin.
No,
Because
I
you're
know
so
that's
conscious of all the noises around you and things like that. Like, my daughter was whispering my name from outside my door, and she was just saying "daddy," and I was like, and then by the time she said it twice, I was like, "What?" She goes, "Oh, I didn't." She goes, "I wasn't sure if you were asleep," and I'm like, "You're calling my name, for
I'm
Christ's
not
sake!
asleep now. Yeah.
I was whispering."
So Admiral Crawford was actually it was a person admiral were retiring, but he was very gracious to let me stay in
That was
his
nice. That was a
quarters,
nice.
but it was polite. I learned it was palatial compared with what people had to stick and stick
Contend
themselves
with.
inside. But again, I was very impressed that the sub was just incredibly manned and managed and so forth.
anytime you're on
Staterooms
something
are a
like
little
a
better.
sub or a
There's-
little combat ship or any of those smaller vessels, every sailor on that has to wear so many hats. They have to be able to do so many things. There's a level of precision and a level of efficiency and a level of like just cross coordination that's just mandatory. And it's amazing what you get out of that.
Everybody on a ship is a firefighter and a damage controlman first. Everyone has to know how to fight fires and stop flooding and things like that. And you can earn your warfare pins. And I'm sure, Landon, you're aware of this, where they have the Dolphins pins for the submarines. For mine, it was surface warfare, ESWIS, or also ESWAS, which was the air warfare pin. And you have to go through a board on each one of those. So you have to stand watches. So I've actually stood watch at an Aegis terminal. I know how radar works and everything else. Even though I'm colorblind and I will never have that job, I still had to sit a watch on there and know how it worked and everything else. So when the board came up and asked me, I could say, oh, like you said, there's a proficiency, there's a precision where you're trained that you're rating. Then there's a proficiency of where you're cross-trained, and then there's a sort of cross-training thing where you can, if all hell breaks loose, somebody can man a station. You're more than a warm body, but
And one of the fun things with the warfare pins, so that's the pin that's above and below the breadboard. If you see an officer wearing silver pins, that means they earned those pins while they were a crewman, before they were an officer. If you
When
earn
they're
those
enlisted,
pins while
right.
you're an officer, you can only wear gold.
Yep.
So it's always when you see an officer in silver, that's almost a brag. Like, yeah, I got these before I became an officer.
And that means he was enlisted first. So those are the guys who get first respect when it comes down to, instead of the butter bars who came out of the academy, which try to reinvent the wheel every time they go somewhere.
Bars. I love the nicknames.
We have so much slang; it's not even funny.
And of course, the problem is I have no
I
idea
throw out my knees.
all these terms.
But
they throw
I
out.
did love the
Like,
community there.
it's impossible to learn all this lingo stuff. It's
You have to
Every
be
acronym
in
is
it,
pronounceable.
right?
They
Yeah.
would just torture me by. I think they made up terms, given the number of things. But
Oh, probably.
Landon, everything is a made up term.
But it was a case we did. So I was there for a while. What I was allowed to say was we went to the spot whose longitude was indeterminate. When someone says, "Have you been to North Pole?" Yes, I've been above, on, and below. They say below, and the other thing I get to say is that we did have a Crazy Ivan event, and that was.
We got overflew by a Tu-95 Russian Bear bomber almost every day to come find us. That was always fun because we sent up F-14s and F-18s to go give them a personal escort and wave at them. And being signals intelligence, we knew they were taking off before anybody, so that was kind of like a thing. But we also had an AGI, which was a intelligence collection ship that was floating behind us, just at the horizon, not the vanishing point, but the horizon. And they were nothing but floating antennas. So they were listening into all of our communications, whether it was flight deck radios or not, and they were also picking up all of our burn bags and all of our trash to see if there's anything of intelligence in there. Not a job I would want by any means.
But I would say that term Crazy Ivan, they were crazy. They were batshit insane.
I gotta say, as a trucker now, I miss some like the naval terms because we don't have like trucker CB talk is crazy, but not like military is.
I imagine when you're like just constantly in danger and on constant like stress situations because of like the living situation. It's
3 acronyms pronounceable for efficiency.
But yes, so I was glad to be back on land. But again, kudos to those people, those subs, because wow, impressive.
Do you find that?
Sorry.
Do you find that that's like one of the better tools in your arsenal for dealing with like flurf? Like, bro, I've been there.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been doing it.
I'm bipolar.
Yes and no.
And we measured it. And
they just say nuh-uh.
Right.
I find actually useful my career now is much more helpful for because one, I didn't even know flat earth existed when I was in the Navy. To me, it was like, I only came into it like the last, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years. But But even then, it's like my career now is more beneficial. So I work as a network engineer for an ISP. So I deal with fiber optic cables. I deal with satellites. I deal with radio. So all that is now going to my debunking stuff, and that's kind of like where my niche is, and that's kind of where I stay in my lane. You won't hear me talk about orbital mechanics or any of that stupid stuff.
Right.
You and Landon are like you're gonna be friends.
Oh, making
cute,
friends on the internet.
cute.
I do
cute.
think that
I need a
telecommunications is
fucker.
probably one of the best flat Earth.
Yeah.
No, don't play
Yeah,
my face.
So I've measured how far is the sun, the moon. I've measured the Earth. One of the things I did with my nieces and nephews when they were about 7, is we went to the beach and we measured the diameter of the Earth using and the only thing we had was stuff on our head, stuff we could measure, a stick and sand, right? And we did the calculations. We got within about 9% of the thing with a lighthouse and sunset and and geometries. And it was really, I said, this is how we know, right? That's the thing I appreciate. So I don't debate them because it's like there's no point in debating what 2 + 2 is.
Yeah, it's just nuh-uh. Well,
It is now.
I'm on the way. I'm going on vacation here, and I'm going next week. I'm going to be down I'm on vacation for 2 weeks. So one of those weeks I'm going to be in Cape May, New Jersey, which is the down bottom part of New Jersey where we have container ships. I have my AIS antenna, so I'm going to be able to show bottom up obstruction as well as actual GPS coordinates of the ship, not guessing. And then I'm also going to be doing some lighthouse. I rented a P1000 because I will never buy that piece of shit personally. But I'm using their
The
own
flat
tools.
earther camera of choice.
And side note, Chesh, you'll enjoy this. Last weekend I went to a flat Earth meetup.
Oh, really?
In Stamford, Connecticut. Do you know who was there?
Who?
Dearth. Flathead Dave. I spent an hour and 15 minutes talking to him just so he wouldn't talk to anybody else. So I had to feign engagement,
sacrificing
not
yourself.
debunk him, not laugh, and do everything I could to possibly keep him engaged. And because I was wearing a Navy shirt, he's like, "Ooh, I want to talk to this guy."
Thank you for your
hour
service.
and 15 minutes.
An hour and 15 you kept him for.
And I have all the audio recorded.
Oh no, are you just gonna put that out like unedited?
So I do periodic expeditions to the South Pole. You have to pay because I go down there to scan for meteorites. And one of my jobs on the expedition is to find the South Pole within about a centimeter, right? That was the thing. And so using general GPS and directions and other clues like that. But I also try to do the Shackleton method, which was to put water in a freeze water in a bowl and use a sextant to do the double dip because the horizon at polar region typically you can't see, but you can do the angle of the sun double by angle down
through the water,
through the meter, through the water in there to do, because I mean people like Odmundson did it there, so I figure I try to do this. But it is a fun thing to do, and if you have the money to pay away for the expedition, I'll take you to the spot and say South Pole is right there, right, and you can.
It's the only continent I haven't been on yet, so eventually, but
it is beautiful inside there. It is extraordinary, and it's quiet. There is
something interesting.
Go ahead.
The Army creates the ports in Antarctica for the ships that come in, and the Navy provides the air support.
Yeah.
And the Air National Guard.
Why do you guys do things weird? Can I ask you a question? Because I know that the Navy wouldn't fall for it, but maybe now that ICE has a budget, or like maybe the military, the regular military, like if we convince them that us up in Canada are snow Mexicans, you think they build us a wall?
Maybe. I gotta get a
Oh
pass.
man,
I gotta get a pass though because I might be moving soon. No,
I
Oh,
gotta say that's one of my favorite things in South Park is when Mr. Garrison's running for president. Like, we're gonna build a wall. And we're going to Canada. And like, but Canada's already built a wall. They can't build a wall.
blame Canada.
that was a good one.
Yes.
I
So
mean, if we have a wall and we ever end up with the unfortunate situation where we have like Pierre Poilievre as a prime minister, which is already too many P's, and we'll have to rename Carney's crevasse to the Petite Pit. But if we have a wall, then it can at least be like he could have petite parapets instead, which is probably more apt for him. So,
it used to be Trudeau's.
The man is Lord Farquaad of Canadian politics.
That don't know that are not here because the border is just right over there, right over, I guess, outside there, right over this spot. There are these two roads, and you can tell you're in a border because one's called Boundary Road, the other's called 0th Avenue, and there's a little ditch in between that's about 1 meter wide, and that's
No touching zone.
Yeah, and people are polite and don't usually cross unless you're stupid.
I've got beef. I have beef. I have beef I want to bring to the table. Are you guys ready? I have beef.
Yes.
is it?
All right.
Oh,
Hold on. We got booze.
Hold
Booze
on.
first, then beef.
Yeah.
I got bamboo rum I've been drinking, so I guess I fit in with rum and coke tonight.
I'm switching to
dear.
Italian tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm
I'm mixing
drinking.
mine. I don't want
really
to
boring
grab the good stuff. I got an
rum.
Eldorado 15
That's
if I
indeed,
want
yeah.
to drink it neat, but that's in the other room.
Ooh.
So please,
Oh,
Josh.
all right. I got beef. Polite and nice aren't the same thing. I don't know why
No.
people get that confused all the time. Why?
No, they are not.
like I am nice.
Josh, you said Lord Farquaad. How much do you know about the Tank Girl, either the original comic or the movie that came out in '95?
Ooh.
Well, it's been a while, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched the
So
movie.
you remember there's a villain in it named Sergeant Small Unit,
Yeah.
played by
Is
Don
this a
Harvey in the movie.
Is this a short joke? Is this where this is going?
No, it's
It's a tiny dick joke.
Oh.
Do you know how he dies in the comic?
No.
So Tank Girl accidentally gets massive breast enlargement.
Accidentally.
Massive, like massive.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
he's going to get her, and he has a whole like squad of like super seasoned big time hitman. And she opens the door, and he sees her with these massive tits, and he just goes getting crazy. Oh my god, she's in my head! I have to wake myself up, and he shoots himself in the head. And then all of his super like skilled hitmen said, "You heard him. We have to wake ourselves up." So they of course also tap out.
Oh.
Oh yes, and Wifey brings me Tank Girl 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the comic. If anybody has not read Tank Girl and you like really weird ass comics, in the very first episode, she has sex with a mutant hybrid genetically modified kangaroo and then shoots him in the head with a shotgun afterwards.
Tank Girl's
She
weird.
also
it's like a
ends
praying
up-
mantis.
Yeah.
You know,
she
for
also
that-
ends up in the end. She ends up marrying one of those, which she does in the movie too. She ends up marrying one named Booga, but she cheats on him with her tank and ends up having a half tank, half human bastard child.
Tank
for
Girl's so weird.
Deadpool, literally everything you just explained would have probably been foreplay.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is Deadpool. This is very Deadpool-esque. Tank Girl and Deadpool would hit it off no problem.
Exactly. They would get along
Right.
well.
By the way, Chesh, if it helps, we all become short if we run fast enough, relativity wise.
Oh my.
Look, there's
Christ.
Sergeant Small Unit right there. There's Sergeant Small Unit right there.
One day
Does
you'll
that
all
mean-
be shorter than me. One
Does that-
day. One
does that mean
day.
that, like,
I'm only short, Chesh. I'm only shorter than you when I lay on the ground.
I know. I'm so
does that mean that
tiny.
Chesh would be
How tall are you?
marginally taller if she imitated a sloth?
Maybe. Hanging upside down. I'm
Just, like,
I'm not
really
5 feet.
slow.
You guys couldn't
Not
see it.
5
Wifey
feet.
just leaned around the corner, said, "Don't make short jokes," and flipped me off.
So
No, I'm not one to make jokes about anything. Should we tell people about the debate hub thing that we're cooking up for later?
Ooh, yeah, if you want. Are you ready to tell people what you're cooking
I
up
mean,
later?
it's definitely not ready, but like I think it's ready enough to say that it's being cooked.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely It's in the pan. It's like it's
yeah,
chopped. It's ready to
a-
get sautéed.
the
Yeah.
ingredients are mixed. It's not been in the oven yet. Like
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Do it. Tell 'em.
Because like yeah. So at some point, Chesh and I are going to do this thing on stream where we masturbate with friends. That's yeah, and there's a website you can go to,
Yes.
which is I'll pause for effect. Mass debate with friends.
You
Yes.
want me to put the link in the chat?
Yeah, put the link in the chat. Because we're building a Jackbox style debate game that has a bunch of other planned things. But there is a website with some early stuff, and there's mini games you play on your phone and
Early
organize
access.
debates and host them, and it's pretty fun. It's cool. We used to do debate roulette. I don't know if anybody that's listening will remember that from back in the day, but I said for a long time I'd bring it back in some way, and this is that project. So check out the website and give it a look, and
Yeah.
send me an email if you want.
I've had privilege of Danny showing me previews of it. I particularly like the fact that Pimp Monk, Ron Coley's voice, has been utilized, and you can hear him say things that you can imagine him saying.
Or anybody for that matter. For some of the cool little things,
It's a fun collection of stuff, and I look forward to the day when I can.
Did you have a question there?
I played. I used to play Jackbox with Chat, the murder hotel trivia.
Yeah.
One. So I got that from the Drunk the Bunk show because he used to do it on Fridays too. So we used to both do those, and it was entertaining. It was always fun. I'd always
we have a few modes of play. There's sort of a standard sort of 1v1 micro debate. So how it works is you pick a category, everybody votes on their phone, right? And they'll be like, we do like philosophy, and somebody might want to do technology, whatever. There's a whole bunch of categories, and then we spin a wheel and we get a topic, and everybody votes on if they're sort of for or against the proposition. And depending on the outcome, you pair some people together, and they have a debate. That's called mutual dissatisfaction.
It's fun little topics like, toilet paper, which way do you roll it? Or
you can also put in any custom topics. So if you want to
don't get me started.
That depends if you own a cat or not.
Yeah.
So, there is a couple of other modes of play. So there is the titular. There's the titular title, which is the mass debate, and instead, how that works is everybody votes, and then it pairs up people with teams. They can sort of choose a team name, and people can go head to head debating, and you can tag in if you want to switch people with somebody on your team, and sort of cycle in real time, so the debate kind of constantly moves.
It's really fun.
And there's sort of I'll say I drew a bit of inspiration from some of the Jubilee surrounded events, if anybody has seen those.
Yeah, recently Tim Pool rage quit because somebody told him he kept using clickbait.
And so there's a mode for that where everybody gets to write their own proposition, and people vote on the propositions, and whichever one has the most people against it, they get to jump into the middle in a Jubilee style thing where they debate everybody, and people can raise a flag and the whole bit. But it's called Circle Jerks. Those are our starting modes. But
it's really good looking app. It's fun. I look forward to when Danny releases it. It's quite a fun stuff. I've been pre-alpha tested.
Yeah, you see some of the early draft. Yeah, but it's got a ways to go. It'll probably be maybe in the fall when we start like kind of rolling it out, maybe. But you can take a look
at the website.
At least, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. It has Discord integration, I'm pretty sure, but I've been slowly moving my stuff over to Stout, which I started this weekend, which is basically like, how Discord has all the privacy issues and is being like a giant China shill pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh, that's been for a while.
Why don't you just subscribe to everything?
Yeah, I know. So I've been trying out Stout and setting that up. So it doesn't have like the Patreon integration, like all that stuff yet, but it looks like it's like working in that direction. So
Yeah, I wonder if they have like
testing
an
it.
API, because I'd set it up to work on that too. Like maybe if there's an API.
I think I'm pretty sure it's open
I'm still
source, so
sorting
it
some
should
of that.
be. Yeah, it should
So,
be
some of these
functional.
connectivity features, some of the RTC stuff is still being set up. Phone connectivity works. The main 3 modes mostly work. I need to expand some of the topics and do some other
I think it'll be good. Like that's
quality
the
of
kind of
life.
thing that I could see like my local bar running. So you know how sometimes local bar will run like trivia. I could
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
see them running something like this, or
Yeah.
running
Oh
like
yeah, there's a mode. You know how the media tends to spin things different ways.
oh yeah.
They do.
Yeah, there's a mode where you'll get a really neutral short story or statement, and then people are randomly dealt either a halo or hit piece, and then they have to write a
Oh,
tweet. They have to write a tweet length comment to put a spin on it in either direction, and then people kind of vote. It's sort of very Jackbox style
Yeah.
that's
thing.
fun.
But it's called Sit on It and Spin.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. So
I don't know how comfortable I am with how well you've integrated this with Debate Hub's definitely not Pornhub logo.
well, definitely not. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
It is
Legally
Aw.
distinct.
We are now
cat.
at 60% of the cats. 60% of the cats have appeared on camera tonight.
Yeah. And I get to do the virtual scratching of the thing.
60% when we've got 40 minutes left of the stream for length of time
So-
usually.
So of stuff there for going on, I would say ask the people in the chat what you're drinking, because we've talked about what we've been drinking, so it would be nice to know.
I should go get a
but
drink.
again,
I've been
again,
dry this whole time.
I'm thinking about
Oh, that's gross, Josh.
returning
Gross.
to the
Get you
South
some booze.
Pole in 2029. And if you would like to go and you have the money, you can help fund me to go there and scan for meteorites in the ice. That's why I go down there and stuff. And then we can get you to the spot where the Earth rolls around, and you can see we will go there during the daytime, which means it's summer, so the sun is up, because you get 6 months a day and 6 months a
All
night.
day.
We're in the daytime.
All day? But that's not possible, of course.
Daylight savings time is considered to be a humorous point at the South Pole.
It's a humorous point to me in general.
Yes, although Nova Scotia they still have daylight saving time, whereas British Columbia doesn't.
Yeah,
So you got.
I know.
You
I gotta start a campaign or something.
You gotta get going there. But yeah, and so and then of course we have a solar eclipse in 2027. We're going to do some experiments on there and such. There's also looking for building a laser rangefinder to the moon up in Canada, because we need a high northern point to help figure out where the moon is. But we got to the point that the laser range finding of stuff, for those people that think that the moon landing was a hoax, we bounce lasers off of the mirrors that they left there, and we get the distance between the mirrors within now down to about a millimeter. We can determine where the moon is, because it's important if you launch satellites out there to know where the gravitational field of the moon is and what it's shaped like. That's part of the process. Oh, look.
The thing that always gets me about like flat Earth is like that's an experiment that you can yourself do if you really want to. Like there's things you can do if you really want to that really conclude that no, that's not a local moon, or no, things aren't, fucking flat. And it just doesn't get done by the people that would need to do it.
So yeah.
And an unrelated note, I was running D&D.
You had a comment on how someone asking how Daria and Antiva are doing. So Daria, Antiva, Daria's mom are home in their place where they live in California, and Daria's mom is back to mom things where that after being under concentration camp for 25 days, comes back to the house, and she says to her daughter, I think we need to clean this place up first and do some laundry, and then we can make lunch. So Daria's mom was doing Dara's mom thing, and she is there. She's getting medical. There's medical things that she needs to do, as well as counseling, because if you have been in an ICE concentration camp for 25 days, you have some issues that you need to work through. So those are
Yes.
things there, but she is back to mom form, doing mom things for the place there where she lives, and that makes us very happy.
Speaking of war crimes, so I play Dungeons and Dragons at home as the local Canadian. I have like a home game that I play with people in real life. Yeah, go figure. Imagine that, right?
Ew.
And
fun.
so I'm a multiple of us. We have more than one person who's willing to dungeon, like to be the DM, and we've got more than one people able to play. So we're able to rotate around. So I am running a game, and I am also playing in one of the games. And I sent a message in the Discord the day before saying, "Hey, are you guys ready to get bullied tomorrow?" And one of them responded with, "Wait, are we playing your game tomorrow, or are we playing a different one?" And I said, "Does it matter?" Because I bully them as the DM, and I bully them as a player. As a
Look,
player, I'm playing a
in-game,
lawful
that's
evil.
gross. Who does
Oh yeah, I'm
in-games?
playing a
I don't
lawful
have a
evil.
room over there just for in-games. I don't have an entire room in my house for doing that.
No. I have an entire. I'm playing a character who's a lawful evil cleric of Asmodeus, which is just D&D Satan, and the player signed an agreement with my Asmodeus devil character, who's just a human. He's just a human. He's not even a tiefling. He's just a human. They signed a deal with him that he would assist them in what they were working on and join up with the party, and then they started violating the deal. And so they violated enough of the agreement that I called on something called the right of annulment. And so I wrote up an entire annulment where I'm like, their names signed off on this, violated the agreement via this, and this, and here's my arguments laid out. And I sent it to them, but I translated it into Infernal script. So I sent them an Infernal version. Now, it is
You didn't
translatable.
send it to Dapper and have it translated to Klingon?
No, I did send it to Dapper though. So they could theoretically translate it and figure out what my arguments are before we play, but they would have to actually physically do the work because I sent them in PDF format. So they would have to actually physically do it. They couldn't just like copy paste it and slap it into Wingdings. You know what I mean?
If you have a D&D game going, Chesh, I think I maybe told you this way back when, but what we used to do at one of our in-person games is I got a big cork board with a world map. And at the end of every game, we pick like an MVP person or whatever, right? And they'd like blindfold throw darts at the board until they hit someplace that wasn't water. And then the next game, everybody would have to like cook a dish from that place in the world.
That's really cool. You're asking way too much from this group.
Nice.
Okay. I have a really cool thing that I'm setting up. There's going to be a confrontation where they're going to have to, on the one that I'm running, there's going to be a confrontation where they're going to have to pick a side, basically. And what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to hand them out, like, cue cards. And I'm going to say, before you roll initiative, write down on the card what you want your first turn to be. Don't talk to the other players and don't show them your cards and then hand them in to me. So they might not all choose to be on the same side.
So I did one.
It's gonna be fun.
I was running a Curse of Strahd campaign, and all of my players really didn't like Valaki. They didn't like the "all will be well" Burgermaster, and I had a week where some players weren't going to be there, and like, okay, we're going to do a one-off, and we're going to whatever. I'm like, yeah, you guys can roll high-level werewolves, and you can be evil, and you do an evil campaign. You can raid Valaki, and you do whatever. So they did. They were evil, and they raided Valaki. And then the next week, when everybody comes back to the campaign, oh yeah, by the way, all of that was canon. That happened.
We did that once where we went and saved Santa by taking a giant toy train and shoving up Jack Frost's ass. And then we got Christmas presents, and then it turned out Santa and Krampus were actually two people, or one person that had been split into two, called Saint Nicholich, and he was a lich that we then had to go deal with.
I like this. This is a good pun.
Saint Nicholich was pretty good.
That's better than the actual official like freaking Adventures League Santa one, because I didn't like that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with evil Saint Nick. he had like a good side and an evil side. When they went back together, he became Saint Nicholas, and he was living on top of a dragon graveyard, and we were all like, "Oh, good, great."
Evil
Bam.
characters are the most fun.
Yes. Evil characters. So this is my I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go into my whole alignment system because my alignment system just makes way more sense than anybody else's alignment system, and everybody else is wrong. Even though everybody's been arguing about alignment since its conception, but mine is the right one. Okay. No, I will not be taking questions or criticism. I do like that my favorite one to pull every so often is like, all right, it's Q&A time. I'm willing to take questions and answers, but all questions must be in the form of a compliment. Make it a little bit hard. Make you think about it for a second.
I did at the local game store. I was one of our DMs for Adventurers League for a while, and so was my wife. And it was so just handcuff restricted, and the modules sucked, and the writing on them was terrible. If you ever mention an empty room or sarcophagus in a TTRPG game, and I start laughing, that's why. And it's because one of the modules, like, you go into the room. There's a single sarcophagus in the middle. It is empty. The walls are lined with sarcophagi.
I was thinking about throwing mummy rot at my players because for funsies. Because why not? Because mummy rot is notoriously like disgustingly strong and difficult to deal with. You can't just get rid of it. And they have no cleric. Their cleric is dead. The cleric that they named Mike Hunts.
And Jess, I never remembered why my calendar reminded me to tell you about Dragonbane, but I think it was because I was going to do another Dragonbane campaign. But yeah,
you were talking about doing it, and I wanted to check out the system itself. I think that's why.
It is a fantastic system. If you want to do a one shot in it, let me know. I have all of the one shots for it, as well as it's a system I know well enough to just run off the cuff.
That's cool.
It is D&D 5e with a lot of the fixes that people like fix anyways already done.
I think that's what Jordan was saying too, right? Jordan's advocating for that one pretty hard, right?
One of my favorite things. So you know in D&D, like if you have advantage and disadvantage, they cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dragonbane does that, but it counts how many of them you have. So if you have 3 things giving you advantage and 1 thing giving you disadvantage,
you get
you still have double advantage, so you're still gonna roll 2 extra dice.
Do a double advantage.
So you can get double. Well, they call it boon and bane, but you can get where you're rolling like 3 or 4 dice with advantage, but you can also get where you're rolling like 3 or 4 dice with disadvantage.
I spoil my players so much, and then they get mad at me. So they get so much cool stuff, they get so much cool shit, and then I throw something crazy at them, and they're like, and I'm like, why are you mad? Why? Like, so I'm building a temple that's gonna have like a little bit of an underground complex to it. So they get to do like it's not like a big dungeon, but it's dungeon-esque, and they're gonna get to fight up to it. You're gonna get to fight in it. Then I'm probably gonna have them fighting displacer beasts. I'm probably gonna have them fighting some wisps, and I'm gonna have them fighting. Essentially, there's a shadow dragon there that used to be a green dragon, and then at the end of it, they're gonna beat the dragon. They're gonna have to do all that. They're all gonna be like fucking injured and doing whatever they're doing, running out of resources, and there's gonna be a black pudding. Just a black pudding that they're gonna have a hard time dealing with because the black pudding has internal healing. And why does the black pudding have internal healing? Oh, because it's got a chest inside of it. What's the chest? It's a mimic. So they're gonna kill the pudding, get the chest, just as a mimic.
You've got to ask me about the campaign I wrote and ran for the furry group, because I think you would absolutely fucking love some of the shit I wrote and some of like the weird story hooks that were in it.
I'm just making a nesting doll of go fuck yourself.
I wrote a campaign that at any point of time, you are never more than like 1 conversation from either a major villain or a major ally and don't know it. And I ran a campaign in it and had my players never hit one of those ever once, ever through the entire thing.
Give it reverse AC. Every time you hit it, your AC goes down by 1.
I also did a home game in the Alien system, which the Alien system uses Year Zero, which is an amazing system.
How could you possibly name yourself Geek and not know about D&D?
Ironically, yeah, no, that's weird. But yeah, so I did an Alien campaign, and I'm like, well, it's Alien, so obviously the bad guy is Weyland-Yutani. So I wrote a campaign where Weyland-Yutani wasn't exactly the bad guy.
Oh,
They were the
yeah.
bad guy who had the shit stolen from them and were trying to, unscrew up the fuck up that had happened. And every
needed
single
more
time
blood.
where they had a quest option where Weyland-Yutani was in the option, Weyland-Yutani was always the easiest quest with the highest reward. And I knew for a fact that none of my players would ever even consider it. And they didn't the entire time. They ended up working for the bad guy for most of the campaign.
I have a question for our telecommunications people. How are you guys feeling about the fiber cables going down everywhere?
The fiber cables going down?
Yeah, there's a bunch of fiber cables. So in my area and in a bunch of bigger cities in Canada, a bunch of the everything's getting updated into fiber.
Generally, a much more reliable set. The thing you have to be careful of is that the people building the infrastructure, do they have plans to upgrade it?
Yeah.
You don't want to have what happened to Australia, where the NBN was a monopoly, set in a really antiquated system, and now they won't change it because it's too expensive. So
don't worry,
It's the
Landon.
bane of every ISP, really.
Don't worry, Landon. We got this. We're just gonna tie the cables to the trees.
Look, anytime you put a system in, you should always put a system in, assuming that it's going to be antiquated and useless within a few years, and you're going to have to replace it. So,
Yes.
anytime you run a cable, yeah, I could run a cable, but I could also run a conduit and then a cable so I can pull a bigger cable through. We didn't do that with our internet backbone, and that's kind of fucking us right now.
Yeah.
Where I'm at right now, so fiber's starting to hit where I'm at for just like if you're in town, you're like, oh yeah, I have cable or I have internet or I pay out the ass for my connection and I have fixed wireless. And if I didn't do my fixed wireless, my maximum speed, I could have 16 down. And I would pay $100 a month for it. And that's because when they ran the original copper, they didn't run it on conduit. So now in order to upgrade to fiber, they have to dig a trench again. So anytime anything gets put in, it should get put in with the intention of replacing it, no matter how future-proof you think it is.
I feel
One of the
spoiled
advantages,
now.
Yeah.
one of the advantages we have now is we do what's called micro trenching. So it's basically you're only burying cable about 18 inches down, and you're basically just cutting a 2-inch wide down a street, and then you're just covering it with, for sake of another word, tape. It's like an asphalt-based tape that you cover over it. So micro trenching has actually made it a lot cheaper to do those things now. You still not putting
and things
conduit,
like
though.
the Ditch Witch, where they
You
can
do that with
they
a
can
main
set up
line?
and they can trench. They can trench 1,000 feet of trench without having to actually ever break surface once in that.
Yep.
So I work.
Yeah, directional boring. Yeah, those are cool.
So just to clarify where my brain is kind of at, because where I'm coming from this is I worked in locates. So anytime you had to dig anywhere, you had to call to be like, hey, we're digging. Is there conduit? Is there electrical? Is there whatever? I worked in the telecommunications portion of it. So I would be looking at those maps all day. And usually you would see and we could see on the maps how big the cable was, like how much cable was there, and then what pair of cable it was. And so the generally the small cables that are connected to your house are only this deep, and they're right there, and they're going straight to your house, and they're tiny, and they're just but the cables on the road, anytime they were doing a new area, from what I could tell based on the stuff they were sending in to do the locates, is they would have okay, we're locating this whole street, but we have 17 tickets because we got to do this chunk, this chunk, this chunk, just all the way down in the new areas. So is that the same kind of thing? Is that how they're doing it now, or is that a little different?
If you're talking about just fiber, it's if you're, let's say they're pulling a 12 count fiber into your house, even though they're only going to connect 2, and then or 1, depending if they're using bidirectional optics or whatever. So you still have 11 fibers that go out to the street. They're just not spliced anywhere. They're just coiled up there, just doing nothing. But then it'll connect to a larger cable, and what usually we call it a feeder cable, and then it'll connect to a backbone cable, which is even larger. So we have 468, fiber count cables that are, this big around, and
big boys.
Yeah, when those get cut, it takes hours upon hours to splice them all. That's just the way it is. But
yeah.
But I don't have. I work for a fiber company. Fiber goes right down the road, but I don't have a fiber because I live in an apartment building. The only thing you can get is coax, and Spectrum sucks ass.
Yeah,
Why can't you get fiber in an apartment building?
because they're a pain in the ass.
Because every
Because you're
building
at the
has an
mercy of your
MPO, and
landlords.
yep,
Yeah, but like, because I have, that's what I run is fiber, and I'm in an apartment, so
You're
we
at the
figured
mercy of
that
your
out.
landlord. So like literally my choice, I can have so like I said, I can have it's either maybe it's 12 down. I can have 12 down. I can have 2 6 meg down copper connections bonded if I wanted to actually run through my phone line, or I can do fixed wireless to the mountain behind me, and I get like 400 down. Either way, it's like $100 a month. So, but I'm at the mercy of what my ISP has here because that's what they have here. If you're at an apartment, you're at the mercy of whatever the apartment, ownership, whether it's an individual or a company, has allowed to be brought into the apartment. So if the owner's some cheap bitch and it's like, no, you can't run fiber box into here. Well, then that's what you got. There's some apartment complexes where when you rent your apartment, you get a Wi-Fi password that you get 1 device on, and
That's
it.
insane.
That's it.
I don't think that's legal here.
There are people who have devised ways to use like a Raspberry Pi to build a router just to get around that, where it like takes that one connection and splits it up, but makes it act like it makes it act in software like it's a single connection, because otherwise the ISP will shut it down.
That's a good question, Tom. Do you guys have any thoughts about what's going to come after fiber?
Say again.
What's after fiber? What our next?
Yeah, what comes after fiber? What's the next advancement?
I mean, the biggest thing that people are pushing are 5G and 6G wireless hotspots and small cells, because small cells. So they used to have the big cell towers. They used to manage everything. Then they took all the data traffic off of that and put them on these small cells, which are basically like 4 pads on 4 poles in a line, and they create a small area where data can actually transfer faster. And it gets it keeps the bigger towers for voice traffic only, so it allows them to be more dense, put up more radios.
So kind of like the little nuclear pods we were talking about, the generators that are the smaller ones
like at the top of like a light pole. You'll see them.
Yeah.
I don't know, 6 inches wide, 18 inches high.
Are they easy to install?
Ish, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is just it's all regulatory, and then also you have to feed it with fiber, and then you have to get the fiber there, and it's another aspect that we do too.
Once the infrastructure's there, it will be easier.
Yeah.
But until that gets done, it's going to be a bit of a bitch.
The biggest problem I found was actually how the individual wireless carriers use their connections, because they don't actually have their own fiber networks themselves. So, like, for instance, we have T-Mobile, we have AT&T, and we have Verizon in my specific area. Those are the big ones.
This is way too interesting.
T-Mobile actually started getting fiber from us directly. Verizon's always had dark fiber from us. They could use whatever bandwidth they wanted over it. They were pumping out 10 gigs before anybody else was. And then you have AT&T, who's buying 100 meg for a single tower and everyone to share. So it's like,
So can I ask a question? So like in Canada, for instance, our cell phone service is a bit more expensive because it takes way more towers to service a very large landmass infrastructurally that like has the same population as California, so your profit margins are spread out over this big area. It makes the average cost higher. But I pay, I guess, would be probably equivalent to around $60 American a month on internet. And I just did a speed test while I'm streaming and doing other stuff. And I'm getting 945 down and 936 up right now for that. Like, why is your internet so fucking garbage? I don't understand.
I have poor cell service near me, and then I also am stuck on coax, so I can barely get a gig if I'm lucky, and that's if no one else is doing anything.
Because it's coax is the.
Let me get my stream deck has a speed test button. Let me hit it real quick. So I'm in California, and I can tell you right now, there are some major tourist spots in California where we have literally 0 cell coverage. No cell phones work. And that is basically all of our major parks, all of our national parks. So if you go to like Yosemite or Sequoia, your cell phone just doesn't fucking work. And a lot of that is because they won't let them build cell towers there, which, yes, please do not let them build cell towers there. And a lot of it is just because, like, oh, if there's no people, then we're just not going to fucking build them. So Pine Flat is a big reservoir in Central California. I fish on it all the time. I love it. It's my main lake. Cell phones don't work there at all.
But your GPS does.
I don't understand.
There's always people there. Cell phones don't work. No towers.
When I
This is a
used to,
crazy
Yeah,
thing.
does.
I'm at 439 down, 56 up, and I pay over $100 a month for that.
When your phone doesn't
American.
work,
That's like
GPS
that's
works.
like
Why is-
$200 Canadian almost.
wait. What's he saying about GPS?
I said
Sorry.
if his phone doesn't work, but GPS does. Why is that exactly?
Well,
Satellites?
that's because you can still see the satellites in the sky, and your cell phone doesn't actually use satellites.
Because the
That's
Earth
Which
is
is for some
round.
reason people don't fucking understand that cell phones don't
fake
use
news.
satellites.
Fake news. It works that way because America is great again right now. Obviously.
Yeah.
I also use Verizon, by the way.
Well, it was more of a
I
rhetorical
used,
question
I
because
used to be, I used to be
Yeah.
the where I worked. I was Verizon's lead escalation supervisor, which meant if you talked to a supervisor at Verizon and didn't like it and asked to talk to the supervisor, I was the fucking asshole you talked to.
Oh,
Boston is
that makes
asking,
sense.
does
And for
bandwidth?
about an hour and a half, one day, when every other call center was shut down, I was the only one of those for Verizon. And God help
Boston,
every customer that called in.
Boston is asking on Forticated, does bandwidth play a role in your upload and download speeds?
It does because we got a bunch of teenagers around me and we're all sharing. You know, it's based on a oversubscription and stuff like that. So unless I want to pay $200 for my own 1 gig port, I'm stuck dealing with that mess.
I have an SLA. I pay for it. I pay
Well, yeah, it's
roughly
yeah.
12 times what my neighbors do. But on the other hand, I've got a 4-hour turnaround. And frequently my service provider tells me when my service is down before I know it. And then my neighbors would say, is there something wrong with the internet? And I can tell them yes, generally, or no, it's your.
I live on where I live is like the house that I'm in was built in the 70s, but the road that's near me is newer because they like expanded that direction. So I think what's happened is like down my road just has like regular conduit, but the boxes are what they're doing is they're putting fiber in the main road so they can just in from behind instead of the front. But I'm not 100% sure.
Be careful you don't do like what NBN did, where they said, well, we'll just do fiber to the region and then do copper to the rest.
No, I got like a little pamphlet being like fibers, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing because Australia, the government gave NBN, National Network, a monopoly on all data carriers over optical fiber, unless you were a educational
Don't get me started
institution
on
or
monopolies about
private institution.
data in Canada.
And we, as part of the square kilometer array, going into the Pilbara region, we have this enormous fiber network going into Perth, whose bandwidth exceeds the entire internet by a factor of 14.
Whoa.
We're talking about over 400,000, 30 gig fiber links bidirectional on this thing, right? And yet we're not allowed to share any of that bandwidth with any other Australians because the NBN is a monopoly and they have to run it themselves.
Is there not laws against monopolies in general, or were they just an exception?
Except if the government,
Oh,
the Tories in Australia took the idea about network for everyone and took Telstra, and then government mates ran it, and then they built out this stupid method of stuff. And the sad thing is, if you've got a problem with your network, you can't talk to the NBN. You got to talk to your service provider who talks to the NBN.
I'm grumpy because we have duopoly in Canada. It's
saying
Bella
laws
Rogers.
like those matter in the modern era.
It's Bella Rogers, right?
Who was responsible for this one in like Australia? Was this like Jabba the Hutt there, or was
the Tories?
This like
it was
Tories,
a combination of the National and Liberal Party Tories that got in there and said we can't have network stuff. And so
I know that it was that party.
The radio telescope cannot be used by Australians, right? There are 12 people in the Pilbara region who are interested in network stuff, and so we were offered to give them their own 30 gig full bandwidth pipe to their house because they're not allowed to have. This is a giant radio telescope whose surface area is a square kilometer. So there's no radio stuff. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no things there. In return, we're going to give them these 12 people that live in this region. Bring me this region. Well, you go to the outback and you go to the beyond outback, and then you go to the polar region, which is beyond the outback. And we try to say, we'll give you direct fiber connections as long as you don't do any Wi-Fi, no signals, no cell phone stuff. And they said, nope, the government has a monopoly on this stuff, even though their network is crap. Now, this is the problem that can occur is if the government says this is a standard and this is a technology and you can only do this, you will regret that because in years, you don't want that. You want the improvement.
That does not
You
seem
could
to
simplify that by
true,
saying
but-
that this is the problem that you get when you elect dumb fucks to government.
Yeah.
Like
greedy.
Well, it can be both.
You can be stupid and greedy. No, listen, there's literally nothing stopping but there's no proclivity for stupidity. Anybody can be stupid about anything.
Stupidity is very inclusive. It's amazing.
It's ubiquitous, really.
Yep. Unfortunately.
So, like my day job, I run a super tag, which is it's a dump truck that has a fourth axle that I can raise and lower on air pressure. So it's a dump truck that runs way more weight. And so I oftentimes go in people's backyard and they're like, yeah, you can put that truck over here. I'm like, it's 30 tons. You can put it over here. Yeah, it weighs 30 fucking tons. Go right here. It weighs 30 fucking tons. So yeah, stupidity is just there, and I see it every day. Like,
It's unfortunate. I wish that we could figure out a way to make it so that 50% of the population wasn't below.
That is not how numbers work, Danny, and you know that's not how numbers work.
We have to raise the
I know,
average.
yeah, but look.
I wish we could just break math, guys.
Break math, right? Can we just break math?
The point is to get the bottom line of expectation or the average expectation up higher and drag that 50% kicking and screaming to a higher baseline. That's what it is, right?
It's the same with standard. Way. It's concerning.
Well, that's right. Well, that's the standard of living.
I wish we would use medians instead of averages because medians are so much better of a metric. But
it depends on what you're. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing. But the what you're trying to. But it's the same thing with a standard of living, right? It's not like if you have 50% of the average person is living below the standard of living. If you get this plateau, the point is to bring the plateau up and then bring the plateau up so that the standard of living. So when people are like, oh, the national debt and whatever's going on with this economic crash is worse than it was in the Great Depression, but we don't have the same rate of death. We don't have the same rate of homelessness or the homelessness in X, Y, and Z, that the standard of living has gotten to the point where these things are not, that the social safety net is dealing with those issues in a way that makes it not seem as bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as bad, but it's pretty bad.
No, we're all dumb here. We're all below that 50% line. I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably.
This guy fucking talks to flat earthers. You're fucking trying to make a debate roulette app. Zerolon does trucks. I'm an asshole. And Landon's lowering himself to pay this. I gotta say that.
If I didn't have a kid, I'd be fine. The kids are expensive.
Not only, so here's the thing with Zerolon. Zerolon went into the U.S. Navy, finished boot camp, but tore out his knees, so ended up not actually getting to deploy. Then became a long haul trucker. Then became a freaking Verizon wireless freaking call center guy. Then became freaking local trucker guy. And yeah, and I live in the red part of a blue state, so.
Yeah. You live in the worst spot you could have possibly chosen.
That gave you really good training for all the flurfers that you debate.
So that means you're in Central California then.
I'm in yes, I'm in Central California. My nearest major town is Fresno. It would take me
Okay.
a long time to drive to Fresno, but that's my nearest major town.
I grew up in San Diego, LA, so yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm in Central California. One of the major, I actually mentioned him earlier, one of the major flat earthers drives this old green Wagoneer around here, and he actually drives around and gives out flat earth like pamphlets and CDs. And
You did this, and I thought you were going to say flat earth hand jobs.
Who is it? It's not Dan.
It's not Dan. The guy doesn't have this guy. I'm pretty sure doesn't even know how to work a cell phone.
You gotta admit,
But he gives it out. He
Because
drives around.
Have you ever talked to Dan? Have you ever talked to Dan the Waterman?
Flat Earth CD. That's a.
I actually have one somewhere. And it's actually a really cool CD because it also has like a bunch of like weird pseudo military like survival like manuals from different militaries around the world, which is like kind of cool.
Is it Nathan?
But it's like actual survival manuals taken by like actual military that a pseudo military guy has like reinterpreted.
Oh,
it's
weird.
like, yeah, that's not right. That will kill you.
They yeah. Yes, and I know Dan the Waterman actually, yes. We had a conversation about
he's very friendly for a period of time. He's very
we had a conversation about what the difference between a still picture and a movie and a video was. Because he didn't believe that a still picture counts and a time lapse doesn't count, but a video does.
So my God.
Usually,
and the Waterman, what location is this person?
He's in LA.
He's in LA, yeah.
Because there's a person in our area, Dan the Waterman, that helps work in our area to help support this geo experiment. And so I was worried.
That means he's not a flat earther. This one's a flat earther.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my conversation with
this particular Dan.
Okay, good.
The Dan I'm talking about, and I don't know how much you talked to Dan or what kind of mood he was in, but I've spoken to Dan pretty extensively, and a few of the flat earthers, let's say. But I would say he's very friendly and
he was very friendly
and outgoing until
to
he's
you.
not. Until he's not.
Until he's
he
not.
tends to be like very level and then immediately take it up to 11.
Yeah,
out
it
of
goes
nowhere.
0 to 100. Yeah.
Yeah, like
oh, he
like,
gets hangry and needs a nap.
Dan, like, and he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm not like that. You know, I'm not like all these people. They're all like whatever. And you're like, yeah. So let's work through this. And you'll be like, okay, we'll get there. Yep. Okay, we agree. Yep. Yeah. And then you get to one point, and he's like, he's losing.
It reminds me of my conversation with Flat Earth Aussie Jesus.
I'm not like that on a lot of like topics. Anybody who does that is probably exactly like that.
There's a my conversation with Flat Earth Aussie Jesus ended up with him. I do art. I don't know if you could tell, but he was having a conversation. He was trying to say that like any picture that you take ever gets compressed in a way that bends the image, and I was like, my guy, like, what are you talking about?
It bends the image exactly the Earth curvature.
Exactly, every time. But then he's like showing video and taking pictures of his own area. And I'm like, okay, so how come yours aren't bending then, bruh?
Well, and on top of that, Chesh, if every image bends downward, turn your camera upside down. Shouldn't it suddenly bend upward?
Well, he told me it was digital. So I said, okay, cool. Now zoom in till you're at 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 1 pixel, and see if those pixels are straight across or if the pixels start to move.
Well, I told one of our local guys, I said, okay, if you take a picture with your cell phone,
he got mad at me after that,
of the horizon, the expected, if you just math out how much curve you should see in that picture, it's less than 1 pixel. So what the fuck do you expect your phone to show you?
They don't understand, like, they do not understand reference frames.
I did see that Flat Earth Aussie Jesus shaved his beard and cut his hair and got a suit.
Who did?
Yep.
Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. Iron Horse, I think he was going by.
I can't watch too much Flat Earth stuff because I get
angry. I'll send you a thing.
Iron Horse is like the most homeless alcoholic flat earther I've ever talked to.
Yeah, no, you gotta see this.
Have you ever talked to Peter Shea?
I
No.
have debated getting
Well,
into like the pseudoscience debunking a few times because I love it so much, and I know I could do it as just a layman and be like, "Hey, look, I'm a dumbass, and I can show you why it's wrong." But I don't know if I could actually do it because it makes me so fucking mad.
BJ was
I
a
lose my
trip.
shit. You can anybody who's in my chat or knows me knows that I don't debate because I lose my shit so quickly.
Oh, you would have a hard time with the.
That's like Simon Dan. He says, I don't debate, scientific fact. Like, yeah, and at the end of the day, a debate is a fucking game. You got two people, two teams together and said, "Hey,
mass debate with friends.
Is this orange or is this, or say, hey, is this orange or is this a cup?" You can debate that, and one of the teams is going to win.
On the outside, I'm showing a freeze frame, or I've just got it paused, of a short from FTFE that came out recently, and it's got Flat Earth RZ Jesus on the bottom. That's him, man.
I don't know how Craig is as sane as he is, because the shit he fucking filters through, and not even just filters through, but just straight up fucking has to swallow.
He borrowed that suit.
The tricky thing about Flat Earth to me is like figuring out what. The tricky thing about Flat Earth to me is figuring out like which type of Flat Earther you're dealing with, because like there seems to be three categories. There seems to be like the clinical problem people, right? Like they're like legitimately dealing with something that's unfortunate, right? They're schizophrenic, or I would put PJ into that category potentially, right? Like he thinks that we all are on like a giant tree stump, and also but he's very friendly for the most part.
I think you just have a different experience than fucking everybody else because of the way you approach and talk to people.
Yeah.
So like, because like you go out of your way to like be like, if you have to be friendly to back, like nobody, like you just have a way different experience than everybody else has.
Maybe that's true.
I'm either the most friendly or the least friendly person ever, and how good of a person you are will determine which one of those you get.
Yeah, but so like, but I think even with most people, like he's I think he's like he's got some legitimate issues, but I think he's like a good-hearted person, if that makes sense. And then you get the people that seem to have gotten to Flat Earth through like major trust issues, where something bad happened in their life. Somebody betrayed their trust, be it the system, be it a partner, be it something changed, and it caused them to question everything, and then they spiral out.
Therefore, now the Earth is flat.
Everything is fake.
Everything is fake.
You know what that reminds me of, this like the classic stereotypical divorced man, where they're like got really hurt based on whether or not they were even right or wrong, and the relationship is totally irrelevant. They got really hurt, but now they're lashing out at everybody, and they just absolutely fucking hate women.
Like I could write a thesis on the Flat Earthers I've talked to. There's like so many of them. But like I should. But like there's like this middle group, and they seem to be also the most likely to leave Flat Earth. When you talk to Flat Earthers that are ex-Flat Earthers, their indoctrination of sorts into Flat Earth is always like at this trauma point, at this crisis point in their life.
Right.
And then there's the third group, which is the no good, dirty, lying grifter who's taking money from the unfortunate. And
you also have the
Nathan Oakley's. I think there's a lot of overlap between the religious flirts and the no good, dirty grifters, right? Because we have no good, dirty grifters generally in religion.
Religion and grifting goes together very well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just history.
Right. So it's
something flatoid.
It's interesting.
Well, I found a new group. A new group is I make no claims. I don't know what the shape of the Earth is, but I know it's not a globe. Kind of bullshit.
No. That's,
I have a question.
All of them now.
Wait.
All of them now.
Wait. Time out. I got a huge question about that. They're doing this thing where they're not making any claims, and they're saying, I just don't agree that it's a globe. I'm not claiming it's anything. So how close is this to the fucking I'm not an atheist. I just lack a belief in God. It sounds the same to me.
It's the same. It is the same thing. It is.
Oh no!
Like that is. And I gotta tell you, Josh,
on that.
For the last 2 years,
no!
like a year and a half, I don't know. Whenever the final experiment, that mode of thinking has been the only thing that like the surviving flat earthers have. is
Oh
I don't
my
make any claims.
God.
I just don't see evidence for a globe. It's all denied. They don't like put clever experiments up
No, I
or
get that
say
part.
like
I'm more.
honestly, the Globers have beat the fuck out of every one of their arguments so badly they're embarrassed to try to make them anymore, and so they don't.
I mean, I guess good.
So
That's where it's
TFE
at.
obviously was a big catalyst, right? But right
Yeah.
after that, remember Dave, Flat Earth Dave was talking to Dr. Shiva from MIT, and he was going to get this panel together of physicists, and they're going to they're going to come up with the one experiment to finally test the shape. Flat Earth Dave was all for that until he found out he was going to have to do an experiment. Then all of a sudden he started backtracking. Coincidentally, I ended up on that panel on the globe side, and all Flat Earth came up with was fallacies and turning it into a debate as opposed to about having a conversation about what the actual experiment was. So I gave them an experiment. We gave them an experiment from the globe side. I gave them an experiment from the Flat Earth side because the one they were doing was including ILS, landing planes, renting planes, being in landing patterns, and not taking any
What?
consideration for anything, let's just say.
Well,
Yeah,
it's,
but Flat
they're
Earth
just
Dave is
throwing
also
confetti.
like one of. I think Flat Earth Dave, to me, he's in like the fucking first category. He's in like the clinical problems. Like
No, he's grifter
Yeah,
100%.
So anytime
that
somebody
dude
says
drinks
Flat Earth
his own
Dave,
piss.
at my work, we had a skinny Dave and a New York Dave when I got hired. And every time somebody says Flat Earth Dave, I'm like, wait, which one was it? Oh, wait, no. Not my dumbasses, the internet dumbass. Okay.
Yes, the internet dumbass, the guy who leaked, wrote the app that everyone bought. It's only $3. Buy it today and lose all your public or your
The one
personal.
that uses the globe to show the
Yikes.
flat Earth.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yikes.
that app was just so unsecure. Like
That was the
That was
point.
the guy I talked to for an hour and 15 minutes last weekend. You're welcome.
Saving us all.
look.
Tell
I'll
me,
use-
tell me what are you gonna do with that footage, that audio?
Burn it.
Well, here, let me just let me just explain a couple of his highlights of his claims.
Yes,
One,
please do.
we'll never know the distance of, say, undersea cables because they always change out the groups that do that, and the only people who will know that is a CEO. I do that every day, so that's wrong. And the other
What?
thing is Starlink. We've all seen the Starlink trains go over the sky, right?
Uh-huh.
Sadly enough, yes.
7 or 8
Space Karen
satellites
is
in a row,
ruining the
evenly
nighttime
spaced.
sky. Screw that.
Okay,
Landon's
so
got beef.
most everybody has, and they're like 7 or 8 in a line, equally spaced. No. So what Dave thinks, and he went to ChatGPT for this, he thinks, what if we put
What?
Starlink in the belly of planes, then it has the illusion that it's coming from the sky.
Okay, but can we talk about how crazy it is to go to talk about Elon Musk's Starlink to then go to ask Elon's ChatGPT about it?
No, Elon is
He's Beeman's Grok.
Yes,
Grok
yes,
is fucking worse.
yes. So
Let's not besmirch. Like, I'm not a fan necessarily of Sam Altman, but let's not besmirch him and try to like conflate him with Elon Musk.
They're all the
Those are-
same to me.
They're different levels of douchebaggery. Okay, I will argue this.
We'll debate this
one
later.
of my longtime friends was pretty Trumpy, but he just realized that Trump's dumb shit. But his brother and his dad are still pretty much on that thing. And I was talking to them up at my dad's house a while back, and his brother kept going on and on and on about anytime he could drop an Elon Musk thing. It's like, oh, Elon Musk, what about this? What about if Elon did a Mars colony? What about, like, dude, shut the fuck up. If Elon did a Mars colony, all the people would die.
Well, I can tell you, and Chesh will confirm this. I have been calling Elon a giant douchey fucking grifter since before it was popular. Like a long time. Like a long time. I don't understand why he's fooled so many people.
I've gotten Space Karen to swear at me because I pointed out how that even North Korean's rocket program was more competent than SpaceX and showed it. I'll say for my
I loved when he tried to live stream Path of Exile. I fucking loved him making newbie ass mistakes and then dying his freaking hardcore character on some bullshit fight that he should have been able to just legit. He could have hit one button and just not died, but he fucking died to some bullshit thing like, I'm a pro fucking gamer. Yeah, no, the fuck you aren't.
Yeah. So
that's a hardcore character. It's dead and gone.
So my flat Earth experience is as follows. I was less than 2 years old. I was only 19 months old, and I was watching the sun set. We were living on a mountaintop across the San Francisco Bay, and I was thinking it'd be cool to go over there and watch the sun, go over horizon,
To chase it. Yeah.
And so I asked. The very first complete sentence I spoke as a human was, I said, "How far is the sun?" and pointed. I was shocked I said a thing rather than just.
I'm pretty sure one of the first things I ever said as a human was a curse word.
That makes sense. It is very on brand.
In miles, this book which I have over there. And I thought that was how could they measure something that far? But later on, I learned that
trigonometry
wasn't flat, right? Because at 19 months old, you get it at 19 months, and I only had lived in that spot there, so I realized the Earth wasn't flat. But someone then said, I was actually 2.5 years old, and asked me, "Is the Earth round?" And I said, "No, the Earth is not round; it's lumpy." And
it's a flat topographical plane.
But I tried to say, no, the sphere is.
Landon was born with special knowledge.
There, but it's got mountains and valleys, so it's got lumps in it. So it's not a sphere, perfect sphere. It's a lumpy thing.
So how old were you before you could prove it?
The first time I measured the size of the Earth was when I was 9.
Yeah, fuck me.
Well, I rejected flat Earth. I was flat Earth at 19 months old and rejected it by the time I was 2.5 years old. So I progressed.
What are babies atheists?
I remember my mom asking me the shape of the Earth one time, and keep in mind, my mom is very evangelical. But she asked me, and I said it was flat, and she debunked that real fast when I was a kid. But I grew up in very much an evangelical community, and the church, which no longer exists, that I was in, we had flat earthers and young earthers in the church, but we were too small of a church to like take a stance on our own. So yeah, I grew up adjacent to all of that, but fortunately never fell into any of it.
I had a similar experience. I grew up around a lot of crazy religious stuff. I didn't fall into it. I remember probably around the time that Landon was measuring planets. I was in a church thing, and they were telling us how the devil is pure evil. There's no good qualities that they have. And I remember saying,
no good doggone goober.
I was probably like 9 or something too, Landon. And I remember saying, it seems as though he's a really hard worker, though.
You know what made me leave my church? I was in the church choir.
I got kicked out.
I was in church choir, and we put on our plays every holiday. We put on a play, and I was in the plays. And I realized, like, oh, cool, we're doing Easter. Hey, you want to be Judas? Yeah, I'll be Judas. Oh, hey, Christmas, you want to be this character that represents Satan? I'll be this character. Hey, do you want to just be Satan?
Eventually, it starts to feel targeted.
I guess I could be Satan. Why am I always Satan?
It's because you're ginger.
Mine, I was 9 or 10 years old, and my grandfather was had a sailboat. So I was able to figure out, we were able to tell about how far we are out by bottom-up obstruction. So it was one of those things of very similar to sea and very easy for us to see, to say, gauge how far we were out because of the curvature of the Earth. It's just a natural thing for me to come up with that mentality. And that never had to like jump over any hoops. It's like, well, there's water in the way. Like, why does it go from the bottom up? But flat earthers never progressed past basically 7 years old.
I honestly do think that there is at least an issue for some of them where they really, really struggle with relative size and object permanence.
You know what I think? Actually,
yeah.
I think that a good number of flat earthers, this is a running theory, I've talked to enough of them, I think a good number of them may actually suffer from aphantasia.
First off, fuck you.
Yeah, that's Chesh. That's Chesh. Chesh has no imagination.
No, I understand, but like literally, I know, but literally, a good number of them seem to like exhibit all of the
Yeah,
characteristics
I
of
will definitely see
aphantasia.
that. And I don't have aphantasia, but I'm pretty similar. Like when I imagine things, I don't get the full like color image of. I get a very
Most people
geometric of
don't,
it.
though. Most people don't, unless
Well,
they're
you're
like
talking about
tripping
the
on
difference
shrooms
between
or something.
aphantasia and like hyper, right?
Yeah,
Hyperphantasia.
like aphantasia is 0. Like
Yeah.
it's like if you
It's
have
a
the
gradient.
ability to conceptualize a visual image, even if you don't see it, you don't have aphantasia. Like this
Yeah.
is a complete inability to conceptualize any kind of visual image that isn't going through your eyes.
Hi. Hello.
So this is actually I'm putting together like a 10-part case study on flat earthers. So going over the some of the cognitive expressions of children starting at certain age groups. I forgot, it was a Greek woman who did Greek and an American psychologist who did a most cited study of like children's cognitive behaviors through age groups. And
Is that Virginia
that's the other
Satir,
one.
maybe? No,
Inability
she
to
was more
imagine,
family
inability
psychologist.
to see in 3D, inability to do everything else. And it's like, just go through these and then go into the individual groups where you have, like you said, you have the grifters, you have the believers, or the religious and then you have the people who just want to belong to something. And, they've been bullied their whole life kind of mentality. And then you have the group that's just can't conceptualize anything and just believe whatever they're told.
Yeah, and that particular group, I think there's crossover with the other groups though, because I think that
Yeah.
if you don't have the
They're not
ability to
mutually
visualize,
exclusive.
It's a
then,
spectrum
like,
of the economy.
these broader concepts are very hard to like dispute or internalize in any meaningful way. And like obviously the real grifters, like I don't think that they need to have aphantasia. They just need to be willing to lie. But like a lot of the people that like really seem like they can't, like the ones that seem genuine, but they don't believe you, and you explain something and it should be innocent and they don't get it. And if you actually start asking them test questions for aphantasia, you'll find that almost all of them fail, like to a high degree. And I've talked to, at this point, this is sort of sad, but like probably hundreds of flat earthers, because
I think
like my
you
background
should add this to the question, the Flurf questionnaire when they come by your channel. I have a questionnaire for when some crazy fucking MAGA idiot comes into my side chat. I have questions that I ask them. You should add some of these aphantasia questions to the Flurf and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my background's in psychology and counseling and stuff, and I got fascinated by how people would like fall into this belief system, and tried to like categorize and get a broad enough sample set to the best of my ability, because it's not something that's like regular research, but a surprising number seem to be in the category of aphantasia, and some of the ones that lack the religiosity and seem to have the aphantasia and seem to lack the grifting are some of the nicer people, right? Like there are some pleasant, like there's a lady, I think
There
Becky
still are
from
some people
Australia.
who think the Earth is flat that are earnest. Sure.
Yeah, that are kind of nice, right? Like they're pleasant. They don't think the same way, but they're not like wildly obnoxious. Unlike some of them, I entered. It was very shortly, actually. It was early in the many years that I have known Landon. Because I think, how many years have we known each other now? A long time. And early on, I introduced Landon to somebody that went by the name of Lemonbird, and I thought Landon wasn't going to be my friend anymore.
Well, yeah, that's what you get, asshole.
Because it was so. Because some of them are
Landon
also
would've been
very
right.
infuriating. Like they're so infuriating.
Yeah. But I've had good conversations with flat earthers. So when I was spending time in the Sahara Desert, the Tuareg, I encountered some people who thought the Earth was flat because that was their world.
Yeah.
But they also had astrolabes, and they were very concerned about where Mecca was. And so I was able to use the knowledge of the astrolabe and the thing to show that they were spherical, and gave them some
Astrolabes are super
experiments
cool.
to do
Nice.
a crossing there, and they converted to round Earth because they needed to. Because if they used flat Earth, they wouldn't be praying towards Mecca. they'd miss.
Ooh, valid.
That's a fun like Uno reverse card on Flat Earth, I gotta say. But like, you know, there are genuinely nice but dim flat earthers, right? I do think it's easy in talking to the number that I have to sort of like villainize them all as this like cancer upon society, which in some ways, like intellectually, that might be the case. But some of them I think are just well-meaning people that don't have capacity. Like they
Danny,
don't. And
I think
I don't get very
when I was
well-meaning
19 months old, I think I was nice, at least a nice toddler. So
I think well-meaning people
keep.
I think like well-meaning people keep their shit to themselves when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, shut up, Chesh.
Unfortunately,
I'm not well-meaning. Yeah. We're gonna wrap up soon, but I do want to.
All right, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me up, guys. I appreciate it. It was nice to meet you all.
Come by again sometime.
Very much sure, and it was fun to chat with you about 30 gigahertz triggering.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I mean, yeah, we can nerd out in the chat, not to bore everybody else with that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right,
And anybody's down, if you want to just like randomly talk with some dumb trucker, I'm always available.
We gotta get Godless Scummer on here.
Dumb. Stop it. Yourself.
I'm not a dumb. It's a joke. My wife usually comes and hits me for saying that, but I am somebody who's not a dumb that was forced into a dumb career. So
before we wrap up, I do want to clarify. I never said I was out to be helpful. I never said I was well-intentioned at all.
Obviously a chaos goblin.
I made no promises.
Well,
no reverse card.
You're going to be helpful.
I'd like to raise a toast to those who helped Daria's mom home, and Daria's mom, who is now concerned about is the house cleaned and is her daughter getting good food. So, cheers.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Cheers out there. Hope you guys all have a good day. We're going to get on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. And have a good week, everyone. Bye.
20 big bottles of booze.
1 bottle of booze.
Yay!